give us a minute. Hello and welcome to everybody tuning in on the YouTube stream. Welcome in. We're going to go ahead and hop straight into our debates with over 100 Trump supporters. In fact, we already have our first Trump supporter, Lil Huddy, up on the live. So, Lil Huddy, if you'd like to take it away and tell us why you support Trump, feel free. Mic is yours.
I guess we'll start with the economy. I like Trump's standpoint on the economy. Not saying that everything he says is perfect, not saying that he's perfect or the Republican Party is perfect, but I do lean towards a conservative economic perspective.
So, what is this conservative economic perspective that you're describing? I want you to tell us what this conservative economic perspective is and how it relates to Donald Trump's economic policy. Because I'm not going to lie, man. When people say that they're like fiscally conservative, like what they usually mean is like lower government spending and like I don't know, like lower taxes for you, the average American. But those are both things that we saw from Kamala Harris in the election, but not Donald Trump. But I want you to describe to us what you think it means to be fiscally conservative and how Donald Trump is following through with those ideals.
Well, honestly, I will say he's not perfect, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to change still. I like what he's doing with the whole tariffs, trying to bargain things. I'm not saying tariffs are a perfect idea, perfect way to solve fix the problems with our economy. Because I mean, everybody will agree that we have a pretty bad economy right now, and Joe Biden didn't exactly help that.
Yeah, he did.
I really, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, look at
When
the price
Trump
of
was walking in,
cars.
when Trump was walking into office, I mean, like the Federal Reserve projected that we'd have like a 4% growth in the American GDP in the first financial quarter of this fiscal year.
I mean, yeah, the government.
Which was fucking great. Then when Donald Trump implements his policy, all of a sudden America's on track to a recession, and like that's now officially being projected by larger financial institutions such as J.P. Morgan or Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, but when you have a government that's, you could say the people in the Federal Reserve Bank could have been Biden supporters or could have been appointed by um, that presidency.
The chairman of the
And
Fed was
once they were,
unironically appointed by Trump, not to mention that if you're basically implying that they could have had a bias, well, their bias would be against telling their consumers that we're heading towards a recession because that means that their consumers spend less money. And what happens when consumers spend less money? They get less loans from banks. How do banks make some of their money? Through interest on loans. So it actually negatively impacts the bank to report that we're heading towards a recession.
that's a good point. And I mean, I will say we've been heading towards a recession. It's been more apparent in the last year than it has any time. But and you can just look this up. America has generally had a recession every 7 years, and we've been due for one for about 10 because the last major recession we had was from I think 2007 to 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So you're wrong. So we have not been heading towards a recession in the last year, as I already pointed out. Before Donald Trump implemented his policy, we were actually heading towards massive economic booms, 4% GDP growth in a single quarter of loan, in a single quarter alone. And then like the second argument there, you're saying that we were just naturally due for one. I mean, I think that this just screams economic ignorance. We were not due for a recession. That's just simply not a fucking thing. And the recession that America is now heading towards, do not confuse what I'm about to say, is 110% artificially manufactured by the terrible policy of the current administration, nothing but.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't entirely believe that.
Okay,
What
so then
I've
what's causing it?
I truly believe that the main thing causing the recession right now is fear.
Why
Um,
are people
there's
fearful?
just propaganda from both sides.
Like what?
Propaganda from both sides.
Like name the propaganda of the left that's making people fearful of spending their money, meaning that we're heading towards a recession.
Well, okay, if you look at when we talk about these tariffs, all the Republicans are saying it's going to be great, and all the Democrats are saying it's going to be terrible. The issue is we've never done it before, so even Republicans are scared. And I think,
Also not true.
while
We have done
plants
tariffs
work,
before. When Donald Trump imposed tariffs on China in his first administration, it bankrupted American farmers, and it was so bad he had to bail them out with like $25 billion in Congress. And if you're telling me that it's propaganda that tariffs hurt American consumers, you're wrong. You just simply don't understand how tariffs work. But I'm happy, and I love to engage in a conversation with you specifically how tariffs work, so I could demonstrate that point to you. But like once again, this is 110% the fault of the tariffs, as you seemingly just pointed out, which seems to indicate that if these tariffs were not implemented, this would not be occurring, which does mean that it is 110% manufactured by the terrible policy of the Trump administration.
I really don't think that's true.
So this would be happening. So you think this would be happening if Harris was elected?
Yes, actually, I'm pretty confident that
So,
this would be having
so then that means
having.
that under your view, you think that the current recession that we're heading towards is caused by something under the Biden-Harris administration.
No, I think it's caused by fear mongering.
By fear. Wait, wait. So
And
why wasn't there fear mongering that caused a recession at the end of the Biden Harris administration? We had like huge economic boom in like the last 2 years of the Biden Harris administration, bouncing back from COVID. In fact, we did it better than any other country in the G7. Why was there no fear mongering then?
well, I will say this: if you say that bouncing back from COVID is a result of the Democrats, then you also have to take credit for when the economy collapsed, as not collapsed, but when we were on downfall in the beginning of the recession. Because when the Republicans were all saying, "Look at the economy now," and y'all blamed it on like COVID. Oh, COVID did that. If you're gonna say, like it's his fault that it got better at the end of COVID, well, that's kind of contradictory, don't you think?
So it's not contradictory because unironically, right, it is COVID in which hurt the American economy, both at the end of Trump's administration and at the beginning of Biden and Harris's term. And it is in part the policy of the Biden Harris administration in which led to the very quick bounce back of the American economy compared to any other country in the G7. And that's a fact. Okay. Right. But I want you to respond to my claim. You're telling me, right, that the recession we're heading towards right now is not caused by Donald Trump's policy, and it would be happening if Kamala Harris was in term right now. And then I was like, okay, why do you say that? And you're like, because of fear mongering. So my question is, why didn't this fear mongering happen under Biden and Harris? How come it only is happening under Trump?
Um, I mean, when an election season happens and when we go through these political changes, I think it's just politics. I think we're in a recession because the battle of politics and not because of the specific person in
Okay, so
office.
then why didn't we have a recession at the beginning of Trump's first term? Why at the beginning of Obama's term were we able to come out of a recession?
I mean, for the beginning of Trump's term, I really just think it wasn't as
Because you're basically
polarized.
arguing that a recession
I
just
don't think
happens every single time a new president is elected. That's
I
historically
don't
fucking false. Why have 15 out of the last 16 recessions in this country been under Republicans? Is it just that a recession happens typically when a Republican is elected? And is that because of the fear mongering of the public, or do we see a broader trend here of the conservative policy of the right?
I don't think the country was as polarized politically as it. I mean, this is obviously the most polarized it has been in history. Well, in recent history.
This is
So
all just literally sophistry. You're literally saying that the country is politically polarized, and because of that political polarization, whoever won the election, we would have seen a recession. That is just a completely foundationless claim, and this claim just simply it wants you all, not just you, Huddy, but it wants everybody watching this stream just to redirect their attention away from the terrible policy of the current administration. It is just literal sophistry, and I could kind of like more verbally describe that for you. In other words, you see the policy of Trump, you see the blanket tariffs on all goods imported into our country, you see how these tools reduce predictability in future markets, you see how they can create global conflicts insofar as isolating the U.S. from the global stage of commerce and other countries wanting to sanction our exports, tax our banks, etc., and how that could lead to a massive reduction in consumer confidence in the markets. And then you see how all these facts are affirmed by Mr. Moneyman, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, who was originally appointed by Trump when he says that, yes, Trump tariffs will reduce GDP growth and possibly even cause inflation. And then you see that fact reiterated by every single reputable institution of finance, like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the Atlanta Fed, etc. And then you just simply ignore all of that, and you instead decide to hold on to a fringe conspiracy theory that inevitably it's not Trump's fault and it's rather being caused by political polarization. I would say the argument that you're making is like identical to somebody saying the earth is flat, okay? Right? Because there's no evidence for what you're saying, and there's a bunch of evidence that you're wrong from many people with educations that run reputable institutions of finance, some even with a bias towards your side of the aisle. That is just like me saying that the earth is flat, even though there's all this evidence that it's round and there's no evidence that it is indeed flat.
well, okay, look at the housing market. The housing market. I mean,
Wait,
if
wait,
we
wait, don't
compare.
pivot. I want you to respond to what I just said. I'll give you the mic. I just want to make sure that you're actually responding to what I just said.
No, yeah, you're saying that I'm have like that. What I'm saying, and I understand where you're coming from, is that I don't have evidence backing up what I'm saying, and I'm just arguing based off the fact that the institution is wrong, or the institutions providing these facts are wrong. If you look at the housing market during Biden's presidency, the housing market was going down, right? Houses get more, or were getting less expensive. The value of properties was going down, which, by the way, that's a recession in the housing market. The value of houses going up when the housing market is considered at a high or is in like a positive. I'm not quite sure how to
So
word that.
I mean, so what you're saying is wrong. That actually occurred before Biden was elected, and then in the last 4 years, we've seen the pricing of new houses get unsustainably high, and that's why we have a housing
I'm
crisis
not
in
talking
America
about new
today.
houses. I'm talking about real estate, like property, like
Yeah, yeah,
land.
that is real estate, property, and land. Like
The
the price
value
of
of
real
land.
estate today has become unsustainably high, and that's why there's a housing crisis in America. That's why the average American can barely afford rent.
Yeah,
But
and
I
that's
also don't see how this is relevant to the point that I made in the fucking slightest. I just want to point that out, that this is a
where your
complete
point was
and total
that
and utter pivot away from everything that I said about how, yes, indeed, it is true that the policy of the Trump administration is sending our country into a recession. And if Trump was not elected, this would not be happening.
I I think you're trying to say that everything I'm saying is just flat out wrong, and by
Well,
saying
I mean, I do have some critiques of like what you're saying about the housing market, but what I'm more so saying is that it's completely irrelevant to my point.
well, yeah, but I don't think it is irrelevant to your point.
So
I
then
mean, I think
demonstrate
the
the relevance
housing
of talking about the housing market under Biden and Harris as it relates to my original claim that Trump's policy is sending America into a recession today. Please, like, describe the relevance. I'll hear you out.
if people can't afford houses, how can they have jobs?
What?
If people can't afford houses and cars and things like that, because houses got more expensive, used cars got more expensive under Biden.
Okay. How did Biden
If
cause
people
that?
can't, bad policy.
Well, like, oh, bad policy? Name one.
Well, one, he did pretty much nothing to, well, okay, I shouldn't say nothing. Nothing that actually worked
Okay. So name one
to
of the things that he
combat
did do
people
that
not
didn't work.
having jobs. He didn't do anything. It was Joe Biden. He didn't do anything.
Okay.
What, okay, you
And
tell
this
me
is
what
where
he
we
did
just,
that
and
helped
this
you.
is where we send, where you just go straight towards being politically uninformed and you listen to your,
Okay,
like
what did
likely
he
mom
do?
and dad for false talking points inside of politics. You're saying
You,
that
you tell
you're
me.
saying that the Biden Harris administration did absolutely nothing. So the Biden Harris administration is actually one of the most effective administrations in modern American history as it relates to domestic policy. They did significantly more than Trump did in his first term. We're looking at the PACT Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Chips and Science Act, the American Rescue Plan. All of these policies were designed to help the American people to rebound us from COVID and to get the economy back on track. And by the end of their term, right, they had done significant work and progress to reach that point. And one of the big issues that remained was a housing crisis in America today, where people are paying too much to live, paying too much in rent, and spending too much on their new houses because of a shortage of new houses, and B, massive corporations buying single family homes. Kamala Harris actually had policy that was going to address this, such as the $25,000 subsidy that would have built 2 to 4 million new homes, such as policy designed to prevent big institutions like Vanguard or BlackRock from buying single family homes. What the fuck did Trump have? He didn't have any policy to reduce the price of new houses. In fact, he only has policy to increase them because of his blanket tariffs. All of a sudden, the concrete, the steel, and the lumber that we use to build houses domestically becomes significantly more expensive to import, meaning that he actually has policy that's designed to increase the prices of new houses. So if you're concerned with the housing market, you obviously should have voted for Kamala Harris.
The housing market has been, a struggle in America since Biden's presidency. Though I don't think voting for Biden again would have fixed that problem. Um,
I literally just addressed this all. Why are you ignoring everything I say?
you just said that they were trying to build new houses. Okay, how is that going to fix the price of the houses that are like the land value? One, and two. Um, when you build houses like that, when you just massively spend millions of dollars on housing, where does that money come from? That us? I mean,
So you're asking what was going to fund her $25,000 subsidy for first-time homebuyers to buy newly developed properties? It was
uh,
$1.2 trillion paid for by the taxpayer. Debt-related spending.
okay, so that's where my conservative viewpoint. That's the main reason I would prefer to vote for Trump because I don't think my money should be going to some random's house. Go ahead.
What was the very first point I made to you about these fiscally conservative views?
I'm not sure I recall.
The very first point that I made is obviously a lot of people will say they're fiscally conservative, and what they mean by that is they want to reduce government expenditure. And I mean, you just reiterated that point. You said that you wanted to vote for Trump because Kamala Harris wanted to spend $1.2 trillion on attempting to fix the housing market in America. and therefore you say you want to vote for Trump. But something else I said at the beginning of our conversation was typically like these views are very confused, and the opposite is true, because it is the case that although Kamala Harris did want to spend $1.2 trillion on attempting to fix the housing market in this country by benefiting the average American, Donald Trump's tax policy that 80% of the cuts going to the top 1% of income earners in this country costs $4 to $8 trillion. Isn't that crazy? Then, like, even under his first term, his Tax Cuts and Jobs Act as a whole cost $2 trillion, but $1 trillion of that expenditure only went to people making over $400,000 per year. Isn't that nuts? And it only grew our GDP by 0.02% per year. So overall, Kamala Harris's policy actually cost less for the taxpayer and went to better places, but somehow she's still the issue.
Okay, look at how much money we were sending to Ukraine. Convince me, just real quick, I know this is off topic. Convince me why we should be sending $13 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah, for sure, because we signed the Budapest Memorandum, a contractual agreement with them in the 90s, stating that we would help them and protect them if they were ever invaded. And then second of all, you're over here complaining about like a couple $1 billion to fight for human rights and to uphold a contractual agreement, as well as the further prevention of the Third World War. But then you completely accept and you ignore a couple $1 trillion towards giving $1 billion additional tax cuts so they can buy an extra yacht.
I don't know. I don't think that's really convincing me that we need to be sending our taxpayer money to.
Think about it this way: what's the lesser two evils? A couple billion dollars to protect human rights, uphold a contractual agreement, and like reduce the likelihood of a third world war, or a couple $1 trillion to put a bigger smile on the face of billionaires.
I mean, I think looking at what's been happening in Ukraine for the last couple of years, I don't even think that there's really that much of a war going on anymore. And I know.
Can you answer my question?
I really don't think
a couple
that's
billion
really
to fight for human rights to prevent the likelihood of a third world war, or a couple trillion to make the smile on the face of billionaires bigger.
You're implying that no matter what, that money is going to go to yachts, and I really just don't believe that's where that money is going.
Well, we know it's certainly not going back to the workers of their companies, because we have a study from Brookings which indicated after Donald Trump originally signed his tax cuts into effect, we saw no new macro level business investment, and it only led to a 0.02% increase in the GDP per year. So actually, yes, we do know that money is not going back into the hands of the employees. And if we want to benefit those employees, if you're going to argue that that's where that money should go, well, then you should have voted for Kamala Harris, because her tax cuts were specifically designed for 100 million of those employees in the low and the middle class.
Her tax cuts were, well, the place where the money's going when I pay taxes to Kamala Harris is immigrants, illegal immigrants.
What? No, that's where your money goes when you support Trump.
I'm not deporting illegal immigrants, funding them, giving them places to live. I don't think we need to be paying for.
Wait. Name one federal program that gives undocumented migrants places to live.
Look at what Kamala Harris is.
Kamala is how you pronounce it.
Sorry,
Kamala. Are you gonna answer my question?
So Kamala didn't actually become the president, so they didn't actually happen, thank God. But look at her campaign speeches when she spoke about giving these places houses, or giving the illegal immigrants houses, and giving them tax cuts because they're illegal immigrants. Go watch her campaign.
Can you please play me a clip of that? I've never heard that. I'm a curious guy. I want to learn. Can you direct me towards evidence to indicate that she wanted to cut the taxes and give free housing to undocumented migrants?
You've got Google, man.
And I mean, hopefully you've got the name of an article from a reputable publisher that I could type into Google so I could find your source, right?
I mean, if you want me to sit here and go look stuff up for you, I can.
Wait, why are you asking? Wait, why did you say look stuff up for me, dude? Imagine that you were in like 11th grade ELA, you're writing a research paper in your English class, and then your teacher's like, you got to cite your claims, Mr. Lil Huddy, and then you look at them and you're like, you know what? I need you to do your own work. I'm not going to do your work for you. You've got Google. That comes off very pretentious, and honestly, you would have failed that class.
This ain't an English class, and I'm not writing an essay.
But what's the relevance of me making that comparison is that when you were in an English class writing a research paper, you sure as hell had to cite your claims. So when you're on live in front of 9,000 people in a political debate, you sure as hell have to cite your claims. I think it's pretty simple.
I haven't seen you showing me proof of all these things you've been saying. I mean,
name a single claim that I've stated, and
I believe it.
Name a single claim that I've stated, and I will give you my source.
Well, I believe it because I can look it up and I don't need to fact check everything you say. I don't think you're coming on the internet with the point of lying to people. But I mean, you can look these things up. I mean, I think just for the sake of time, you can look these things up. Um, I don't think that's a big necessary part.
Okay. Colin Lair says that she's going to give undocumented migrants free houses. Everybody, feel free to type that into Google if you want. And guess what pops up, Lil Huddy?
Go ahead.
Nothing.
I'll look it up for you.
Sweet. Okay. Awesome. While he's looking that up, I'd like to thank P so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love, P. Everybody, please show some love to P down below in that chat. As well as Space, thank you so much for the $10 donation. And Mallory for the $14 donation over there on YouTube, saying we elected a Liberal leader and again in Canada. I know, bro. W Canada. And the only reason the Liberal won in Canada was because of how bad Trump is. So, like, 2 months ago, Liberals were down 20 points, but then they ousted their old PM and they got this new guy in. I forget his name. I think it's Carney or something. And then they just literally ran on like Canadian nationalism, rejecting Trump, and that won them the fucking election. Trump won the Liberals the election in Canada. I want to make that so incredibly clear because that claim is true. Mark Carney only won because of Trump. Hallie, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying thank you for everything that you do. I've just recently found you on TikTok and now I can't stop watching. Hallie, thank you so much for the love. That's incredibly kind. As well as Noah with the $20 as well. Show some love to Hallie and Noah down below in that chat while Lil Huddy down here is trying to find a claim. As well as Rayleigh, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, saying coffee on me today. Thank you. You know what? I spent a good 20 minutes this morning making my coffee. I love it. I have the same morning routine. I have an espresso machine. I dose the beans. I get 18 grams. I grind it up. I extract exactly 36 grams of espresso in 28 to 30 seconds. I have it all dialed in. It's my favorite morning routine, and I love coffee. So thank you so much for that, Riley. As well as Mary with a $15 over on PayPal, Haru with a 4, Madison with a 15, thank you so much. And oh my God, Cheryl, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on PayPal. I want to see at least 500 Cheryl W's down below in the chat. Cheryl, thank you so much. Cheryl says, I always enjoy watching your lives. Thanks. Thank you, Cheryl. Dude, show some love to Cheryl down below. You guys are so incredibly kind. Lil Huddy, were you able to find anything?
I'm trying to watch these videos. I'm trying to keep the volume down because some of them are kind of long. But
No worries. How about while you try to find evidence for your claim, because I obviously think that's a good thing, and I actually want to thank you for taking time out of your day to do so. I will go ahead and get another person up here to continue the conversation, and whenever you found your evidence, feel free to kind of hop back in. So we're
yeah,
gonna
how
go.
long are you gonna be live? Because I do have a class at 3:15.
I'll be live for 4 hours.
Okay, I'll be back.
Oh, I mean, why don't you just want to like do it real quick? Maybe spend another 5-10 minutes researching, see if you could find anything. But if you got a class and you got to run, no worries.
It is in 10 minutes. I do got to get to this, but I will be back.
Okay. All right, Lil Huddy. You take care now. You take care.
Have a good one.
Yeah. What's going on, Atina? Do you support? First of all,
Oh my God, I'm totally in this. I totally did not think I was in this. I didn't even know I requested, but no, I totally agree with everything you say, except the Canada stuff because I'm Canadian. But yeah, totally. Slay. You're a slay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. What's going on, Christopher?
Hey, Dean. I am. Hello.
Hi. Are you conservative?
Yeah, I am. But
are you driving?
Yeah.
Christopher, I'm so sorry for cutting you off. I wish I could let you speak. TikTok TOS requires me to kick you because you are driving. What is going on, Sean? Do you support Trump?
My name's actually Shauna, and I don't. I have a quick question that I probably could have Googled, but I feel like my stuff is just like I'm not getting solid information. Is the law where you no longer can vote if you have changed your last name, like if your last name doesn't match your birth certificate, whether if you got married or you had to change your name for safety reasons, is that law going through, or do we not know?
You know what I'll do is I will get an update on that from either research while I'm on live, just happening to be Googling at the same time, or
Okay.
or like friends that may know things about it. Oh, actually, I already had a friend reach out to me that knows all about it. The SAVE Act right now is not going through.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
The argument is that the Senate will likely deny it.
Okay, that's good. I was
Very good.
worried because I have many friends who have legally changed their names for many reasons, and I'm very worried for them.
That is so true. I know. I'm really hoping that it doesn't pass either, and it doesn't look like it will. Well, thank you so much for coming up, Shauna. I do appreciate you for your time. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat if you would like to come up here and have a discussion. I'd love to have you up on my live, y'all. And yeah, we're going to go to get that next guest up here right now. Let's go to get David up in the live, y'all. Everyone just give us a minute to get that next guest. Here we are, everybody. Just do be patient, y'all. Do be patient. Oh my God, LaDonna, thank you for the $50 donation over on Venmo, and Gary with a $50 donation as well, y'all. Please show some love to LaDonna and Gary down below in the comment section. Literally right now, LaDonna says, keep teaching people. I'm so impressed by you, LaDonna. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Gary saying, Dean, you don't know me, but my name is Gary, and I've been following your posts on TikTok. It is young people like you who are going to change the world, and I would like to support you. I hope you find those small token of gratitude helpful. Gary, that is so incredibly kind of you. I really appreciate you, not just for the $50, but also the very kind message. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please show some love to Gary and LaDonna down below in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys. And what is going on, David? Do you support Trump?
No, I do not at all. I just want to pull in and say you're amazing and keep up the good work, bro. Love you.
David, you're awesome. David. But we are just looking to debate Trump supporters, so we got to move on. Show some love to David, and I'd really appreciate everyone watching if you could only hop in that queue if you do indeed support the current administration, as we are just looking for some debates. But David, my man, I do really appreciate you. We're going to get that next guest loaded up right now. Drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you'd like to join. And what's going on? Share. Hello, do you support Trump?
Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense then. So we just missed an email somewhere along the way, and we'll have to figure out.
She's on the phone. I feel like we were invaded on something private there. Hello, Connor.
Dean.
Get off my
Dean,
live.
I'm going to tickle your pickle while you're
Get off
sleeping.
my live. Get off my live. Get off my live. Okay, moving on to the next guest. Everyone just be patient while we get the next guest, John, up in the live. You guys, if you are one of the 8.2 thousand people watching and you'd like to come up here and debate because you support the current administration, let me know down below in that chat. What is going on, John? John, do you support Trump?
Actually, yeah, I want to say I do support Trump.
Okay,
I definitely think that.
How are you?
I'm 36.
36. Take it away, man. Tell us why.
So I gotta say, he did. I think he did something that Kamala couldn't have done if she even tried. If she was president. But Trump did something that
isolate us from like every other country on earth and send us into a recession.
1 sec.
Sorry.
I got you.
Rude. I interrupted when I shouldn't have.
No. But Trump did something that even Kamala couldn't do. Even anyone in their their clearest mind couldn't do. He made it so that literally Canada voted again liberal. That is fucking phenomenal. All right, fuck Trump. I was joking. I'm not a fucking Trump fan, but I'm just saying how fucking.
You know what? I'll allow it. Let's take a moment to celebrate Canada for that. Definitely a step in the right direction, right? Definitely a step in the right direction. We're gonna move on to our next guest, and I also hope that shows like I was about to say, like, I hope the outcome of the election in Canada is a microcosm of like the progressive, higher levels of progressivism onset by Trump, but it's not even a microcosm. That's 44 fucking million people. That's not a microcosm.
Can you hear me, dude?
That is real results. Hey, what's going on, Kay? Do you support Trump?
Can you hear me, Dean?
Yeah.
How are you, brother?
You know what? I'm doing all right today. I'm really tired because I only got like 6 hours of sleep, but you know, I got my
taking all
coffee
that
and I'm pulling through. We're gonna go and kick him. I thought he was just being kind and asking a good faith question. Turns out he wasn't. By the way, if this stream gets taken down, y'all head over to my YouTube, link in bio. You know, you can find me over there. Also, TikTok, please don't ban me. We are like insta kicking like all these people that are violating your TOS. Please don't take it out on me. Take it out on them. Ban them, not me. I promise we are insta kicking all of them. Have some grace. Have some grace. But you know, when this live gets taken down, it's not an if, it's a win. Go to the link tree in my bio. Go to my YouTube. Y'all already know. All right. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Drop a MAGA down below in that comment section. Literally right now, if you'd like to come up and debate where all the Trump supporters at, we have 8.5 thousand people in here. Not like one person that wants to come up here and tell me why they support the current administration. Come on, bruh. Like, unreal. I mean, truly, quite frankly. We're going to get Camden up. We're going to get Nathaniel up. Hello, Camden.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you support Trump?
I do, yes.
Okay. Nathaniel, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
Okay. 13-year-old Nathaniel is a fan of Trump, God, and Sabrina Carpenter. That's a new one. It's just you, Camden. It's just you. Tell us why you support Trump.
Oh, can I just start off with one question first?
Camden, as long as you just be civil, please.
I will. I will.
Yes. Yes.
So my big thing is like, you say there's all these problems wrong with America and stuff, but like,
Right.
what makes you want to stay if you say it's such a bad country?
What makes me want to stay in America?
Yes.
In my idealistic worldview, I would actually prefer to live in like Norway.
So why don't you move over there?
Family, like comfortability with where I'm at, grandparents, practicality concerns as it would relate to the cost of it, and else. But but like in an idealistic sense, I would prefer to live in another country over America.
That was my main thing.
Okay.
I was just wondering, like, I don't really know why you waste your time saying America's so bad when we are one of the best countries in the world. We are the best countries in the world.
Why do you think America's the best country in the world?
Think about our military. We have the best protection. Who does any other country call when they need help?
Well, we definitely have the largest military in the world by far, but I don't think the size of our military means that we are the best country in the world. Like, for instance, would you say that therefore China is definitely the second best country in the world because their military is the second largest, and then like Russia?
Oh no, that was just one of the examples. Another thing is
I have a
our
question. Do you think that China and Russia are better than like the UK, France, Germany, and Nordic countries, etc.?
Well, that better is a kind of a wrong word to use there.
No, because you said that we're the best because of the size of our military. So it would just follow that because Russia has a larger military than like any EU country, Russia is better than any EU country.
No, I'm saying like our military is one of the reasons we're the powerhouse of the world.
Okay, well, I don't think that having a large military makes us the best country. Neither do you, because now you're disputing that Russia is better than any EU country, even though they have a larger military. Sorry.
That's not what I said.
Yes, it is. I asked you why America is the best country on the face of the earth, and you said big military.
No.
That was one of the things.
The reason we're one of the best countries is because our military.
Okay. What about other reasons?
We have the best GDP in the world.
So I have a question.
As many
Do you think that that specifically California is the best state in America because they have the largest GDP out of any American state?
California didn't have the most people.
So California definitely has a lot of people. So your argument isn't out of overall GDP, but it's GDP per capita?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, even in accordance with your own standard, you don't think that America is the best country in the world because America does not have the highest GDP per capita in the world.
For the amount of people we have, yes, we do.
No, like GDP per capita accounts for the amount of people operating inside of the economy and finds like the average GDP allowance per year, and that's what GDP per capita means. Okay, and other countries have higher GDP per capitas. Like for instance, like what about like Ireland? I think that
Do you
Ireland.
still fuck Harry on a daily basis?
And there you go, and there you go. Okay, so you lose the argument, so then you're like, GAY sex, got it. Get out of here. Come on, bro, dude. I mean, like, I literally asked you to hold it together. I had to like verbally request you just to hold it together, and just be a man and not a little boy. And they couldn't. GDP. Sorry, TikTok, don't take me down. I kicked them out immediately. You know, I love you. I follow your TOS religiously. W TikTok, LS guys, spam them, not me. You got it. If we do get banned, head over to the YouTube. Hello, Mikey.
Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing?
You know what, Mikey? I'm doing all right. Gotta ask you, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 19.
Perfect. Do you support Trump?
So going into this election, I definitely, preferred Trump over Kamala, but, seeing Trump's current economic policies and them going into effect, it's kind of, it's difficult to see.
I mean, do you still like prefer like Trump?
I really politically did not nothing really affected me going into this election. I'm a 19-year-old white male. I don't have too much to worry about under either.
That is a really weird recognition for somebody on the right to make. You should come to the left.
Yeah, well, so I'm curious, what was Kamala's economic policy? Because I didn't hear much about it, and I'm just curious.
Yeah, tax cuts for 100 million American workers and the low and the middle class to try to account for the fact that the average American has significantly less purchasing power than the average millionaire billionaire. In fact, wealth disparities in America today are equivalent to the levels of income inequality we observed in France before the French Revolution. And her policy was focused on getting more purchasing power in the hands of the average American, in the hands of low-income Americans. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's economic policy does the opposite, literally redistributing wealth from the poor to the rich. But if you're not a big fan of the Trump administration, I guess I'll go to move on. But I do appreciate your questions.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Have a good one, Mikey.
You too, man.
All right, who's next, y'all? Let me know in that comment section if you want to come up and debate. All right. Dude, oh my God. I just saw somebody in the queue with like a picture of my side profile where I just look insane. I wanted to bring them up, but now I don't see them in the queue anymore. It is so rough. It is like, I got. And I really want to bring them up, but they're not in the queue anymore. It's like this one picture from Texas. There it is. That's not a good look for me. I gotta bring them up though, because they seem obsessed. I really gotta bring them up because they seem fucking obsessed. Hello, you are so obsessed with me. It's cute though.
Yo, you said you wanted to live in Norway.
It's that same guy. It's that same guy. He was the one that came up at the beginning of the stream. He is obsessed with me. He's so obsessed with me. He's so fucking obsessed with me. Okay, wow. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you are MAGA. We will happily get you up on the stream. We're just looking to debate individuals that do support the current administration. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you currently have any like AirPods or headphones in? I could barely hear you.
I do, and I'm sorry I have bars, but I don't have Wi-Fi at my shop.
Okay, is it possible that you could take like the AirPods out?
Yeah, one sec.
Perfect. Well, he's taking the AirPods out. I'd like to thank Bobby so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Everybody, 200 Bobby W's down below in that chat, as well as College with a 10 and Mary with a 20. Thank you, Mary, College, and Bobby. Everybody, please show some love to Mary, College, and Bobby down below in that chat, as well as I'm reading y'all's messages. I do appreciate every single one of you for your kindness. Take it away. Tell us why you support the current administration.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So why do you keep running from me, Dean?
I have no clue who you are, and you're on my live right now.
No, I mean, you've been running from me anytime you finally let me up and realize who I am. You won't give me the time of day, and I'm curious why.
Well, who are you?
Phil Young. How are you?
I'm not giving you the time of day. You're right. Goodbye. In fact, you know what? I am running from you, and I'd advise everybody else in your live, online, or in person to do the exact same thing. Wow. That is probably the first time a guest has told me that I'm running from them when it has been literally true. That is true. The claim that I'm running from him is true. Who is he? A P3DO. He came on my live like a couple months ago, and he admitted to being a P3DO, and then his wife defended it. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. Yeah, that is the Phil Young. Phil Young. What's going on, Chris? Do you support Trump?
No, but I think I can give you a.
I'm sorry. I just want to talk to people that actually do support the administration. Spam MAGA double in that chat if you do want to join up. Here we go. All right, everyone, give us 1 minute to get the next Trump supporter up in the live. It's a little bit hard to find him at the moment. Dean, I misquoted myself. My name is Gary Boots, not Gary Booze. Oh, I'm sorry, Gary Boots. First of all, that's a really cool name. Gary Boots is a really cool name. But thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, Gary. Everybody show some more love to Gary while we are focusing on getting that next guest up in here. If you'd like to come up and have a debate, let me know down below in that chat, and we will get you up here for a conversation. We are just simply looking for next Trump supporter, and if you're one of the 8,000 people watching, make sure that we're double tapping y'all. And as well as Connor! Thank you for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Mr. Connor says, I come from a very small red town, so I really resonate with you. Thank you for opening my eyes and opening mine even further. Much love. Dude, Connor, you are the man. You know that I love you. You've been watching for so long now. I know your name by heart. I know who you are. We all love you. The one base Connor. Okay. Also, I'm looking at your profile picture on Venmo. Dude, W beard as well. What is going on, Patrick? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, phenomenal. Do you have any like AirPods in or anything? I can barely hear you.
I do. I'm turning them off.
Sweet. While they're turning their AirPods off, y'all, if you're one of 8,000 people in here, make sure that we're double tapping. Let's try to get up to 1 million likes. Y'all already know it.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah. Take it away. Tell us why you support the current administration, man.
So I support the current administration specifically off of the standpoint of my job.
What's
I
your
work
job?
in the oil field.
Oh.
And my vote specifically went just because of the drilling and the fracking and keeping oil on U.S. soil.
Well, actually, you should have voted for Harris. The Biden-Harris administration was better for domestic production of crude oil than Trump. Point blank, period. That's a fact. The EIA tells us that the most oil ever produced in a single month under the Trump administration was in December of 2019 at 12.9 thousand barrels of oil per day. The Biden-Harris administration beat that and produced more than that for a year straight.
100%, and I will admit that you're right on that number. I will
So should this
also
imply that if your biggest concern
I'd like to bring
is
up
the
the
amount of oil
fact.
produced on U.S. soil, and there's more oil produced on U.S. soil under the Biden-Harris administration, that this would imply that Harris was a better pick for yourself?
No, I am coming specifically off of the drilling and the fracking laws.
So they actually
do
didn't
you get what I'm
pass
coming from?
any legislation to restrict drilling or fracking outside of nature reserves in Alaska and some offshore drilling that they just simply relocated into onshore drilling by approving more onshore drilling permits. And they actually further funded American fracking with the Inflation Reduction Act, where they spent a couple $1 million towards investing in it. I mean, like Harris's approach as it relates to American drilling is pretty simple, and honestly, I agree with it. She says that right now, renewable forms of energy resources are unattainable because they cost significantly more than non-renewable forms of energy resources. So what she wants to do is she wants to invest a lot of money into research and development of renewable energy resources today, so we can make it less expensive in the long term, while simultaneously also investing in non-renewable energy resources so we could dominate more of the global production of those. So when we have attainable, affordable, renewable options, we can switch the reliance of more people to those because of our current dominance of the non-renewable energy resources. And that's actually good for you in the next 4 years.
100%.
Because we will not have those affordable renewable energy resources available to us in the next 4 years. So all that you're really concerned about is the fact that they're just investing more into the non-renewable energy resources now. Melissa, thank you for the galaxy.
Yes, I'll submit that. Yeah, I agree with that. My goal was short term. I honestly don't know if what I voted for was right, but at the time it looked like the better option.
Okay. Well, my argument is
And
that it was not the better option, and I mean that's clear because of the things that I just described, as well as the outcome of the presidency to date. If you'd like to counter any of the arguments I gave you, that'd be great.
So as of right now, in the field that I'm in, because I'm in a Utah oil field, we're producing more oil than we were while Biden was in office.
Okay.
And
What has
I
Trump done
couldn't-
to make you produce more oil?
Oh well, that was my next sentence. Is I'm not sure if anything Trump did is direct correlation to that, and maybe it would have played out the same way. But that's where I voted.
Okay. Well, Patrick, I appreciate you for your time. What I recommend to you in the future is just to
Stop
simply
hitting
not.
that anxiety pen, buddy. We saw you hit the anxiety pen. It's a vape. We know it's a vape.
No,
we know it's a vape.
No, it's not.
It's a vape. It's a vape, buddy.
No, it's not.
No, it's a muted.
You have.
It's a vape.
Let me.
It's a vape. It's a vape. It's a vape. It's a vape.
Shut.
It's a vape. It's a vape.
Shut
It's a vape.
up.
It's a vape. It's a vape. It's a vape.
You have no idea what you're talking about. And honestly, before you come into my life in this space and you make assumptions, do some fucking research, okay? The amount of times I've addressed this and make it incredibly clear that it is a lavender and caramel anxiety pin.
It's a vape. It's a vape.
Oh my god, the rage bait.
Vape.
The fucking rage bait. Get off my live! Leave! Ugh. God, we're moving on to the next guest. We're moving on to the next guest because what is that shit?
China. I know everybody in China. I am China.
I don't know what that guy's doing. Moving on to the next guest. We got Lane loading up into the box. Jesus Christ. Hello, Lane. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Laying out of you, bud.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, laying out of you.
I don't even know what to say.
Get out of here, kid. Moving on to the next guest, everyone. Just give us a minute. We got Red Pin 47 loading up into the box. Okay. Justin, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I do really appreciate you so much for the love. Justin says, what espresso machine are you using? This $20 is designated for ordering a pound of the Relay Espresso from Messenger Coffee and KC. They're my favorite, but I don't have a way to mail you some. Dude, Justin, I will unironically do that. Thank you so much for the $20 specifically for a pound of Relay Espresso. I got that. I will. W Justin down below in the chat. And right now I'm using like, I think it's a Breville Express Barista Pro or some shit like that. And it's been serving me well. The only thing that I do outside of the machine is I just like dose 18 grams of beans myself. And I really appreciate you for that. Espresso is like one of my biggest hyperfixations. I love it so much. As well as Ian, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo, saying because F Charlie Kirk. Thank you for the love, Ian. Everybody please show some love to Ian down below in that chat. As well as Keely with a $5. I appreciate that. As well as Dustin with a 5 as well. Hello, Redpin.
What's up, bro? How are you?
Man, you know, I'm doing fine and dandy. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm at work.
Okay.
Well, on break.
Nice. I'm going to ask you a question. I want to see if you can answer it, and this will determine how good this conversation is going to be. Name 3 bad things the Trump administration has ever done, either first or second term.
Well, he's trying to take away birthright citizenship. He's not giving people due process.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. You named it. Wow. Okay. All right. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the 20%. All right, so 80% of the things I don't agree with, but the 20% that I do, which was end the conflict in Russia and Ukraine. And I feel like we are stepping forward with that. With, you know, I mean, we'll see what Putin does with the ceasefire.
Well,
Doesn't
we
sound
already
very
saw
promising.
what he did. He denied it.
Well, again, we'll see.
We already saw
I feel hopeful about it, and we'll see what happens.
But it already got denied.
No, they just came out yesterday. Came out yesterday and made a statement.
Oh, okay. Another one, a second round. Okay, yeah, here's the deal. So the only way that conflict is going to end by Russia stopping their invasion of Ukraine is if they get the Donbass region and Crimea, most likely. Okay? And I'm not okay with concessions of any Ukrainian land, point blank, period. And likely neither will Ukraine. And I don't think anybody should be, because at that point we are literally supporting and justifying ethnic cleansing and colonization and invasion of foreign territory and stealing land from individuals that have a right to self-determination that's being violated. And I think as soon as we start entertaining the idea that that is a good thing, that's when I think that we have completely got off track and derailed from any human virtues that I'm aware of.
Right. So is there at least, I mean, one thing, anything, maybe something, 1% that you like about Trump?
Yeah, I like that he expedited and fast-tracked the approval of the vaccine in his first administration. That was good. Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about what like Donald Trump is doing domestically?
You got to be more specific.
Sending America towards a recession, deporting two-year-old citizens without due process, ignoring orders from the Supreme Court, attempting to consolidate power to the executive branch, and like fear-mongering in so many different senses, rather it's immigrants in America, through the propaganda released by the White House's official social media accounts, or like fear-mongering like potential invasions of other countries like he has with Greenland.
Okay, so let's pause and we'll zero in on the misinformation you just said. So you said a 2-year-old was deported without due process, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's what a federal judge said. Judge.
So that's incorrect. The 2-year-old, the mom decided to take that kid with her while she was being deported because she was here illegally. So it's not 100% correct.
But the argument is that that means that they deported the child with the mom without having a hearing with the dad. I'm also seeing that a lot of people in the chat are denying that claim, but at the end of the day, what I do know is that apparently the mom also didn't have due process, and there was just no official hearing insofar as the official custody of the child. And like a federal judge has outlined that and made it clear, and the claim that you just made is what the government has said, not the lawyer.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is, whose fault is that?
Trump's.
It's Trump's fault?
Yeah.
So the mom had she had no involvement at all, no accountability at all.
So it is, she has no involvement and or accountability for deportation processes without due process organized and chartered by the Trump administration. That is 100% the fault and culpability and responsibility of the government, especially as it relates to the child and the custodial oversight of the child and where the child should live. Yep, absolutely.
So did the mom not make the choice to either take or leave her child?
As far as I'm aware, there's been like no statement from the lawyer in which has indicated that. That is what the government says, not what she nor her lawyer says. But what we do know is that a federal judge has ruled that there was not due process granted in the case, and that the dad was definitely not involved in any custodial hearings inside of any immigration court because there wasn't due process in court. So that's once again the claim, and then you just keep on ignoring that.
Well, I mean,
and I'm pretty sure that they
you
actually
made a
got
claim as
deported
well,
before they could speak.
which
with the judge.
isn't 100% correct, right?
No, I think everything I've said has been true. They were deported without due process, and the 2-year-old went with them. They were deported and detained by ICE before they could meet with the judge, and now the judge is saying that they weren't given due process, and that was wrong. I'm just reiterating facts, sir. Yep.
So are you gonna walk away from Unfuck America or what?
Do you typically pivot when you lose a debate? Are you gonna walk away from the debate or what? But if you're actually curious, which I
What
know-
debate? I'm trying to figure out. That's why I got up on here. I just want more information. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, you don't actually care, but I'll tell you anyways. So, yeah, we're gonna continue. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait.
So maybe next time you guys
Thank you so much
should
for the
actually
galaxy.
like know how to fill out a permit before you just go onto a college campus. They're actually coming out here to San Diego. It'd be exciting to see you guys clash the correct way.
Yeah, so we did fill out a permit.
Then why is all this rumors going around? that
Wait. I thought I'd also add on for the chat. Yeah, like things are going to continue, not with the same people, and the pack is completely gone. I'm sorry. It's worth adding on for the people listening. I'm sorry. This has been gone over in the last 2 days, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that there's a lot of people in here that didn't know that because you haven't caught the lives in the last 2 days. I should probably. Sorry, I needed to clarify that for like the people that haven't been around in the last 2 days. I'm sorry. I just assumed because I've been talking about it for 2 days that, people know what I'm talking about, but I forget the nature of the internet. There's a lot of people in here that haven't heard those lives, haven't been involved in those conversations. So that's worth clarifying. So Reppin, yeah, I mean, like we did fill out proper permits. That is one thing that did go right. The only reason you believe otherwise is because Charlie Kirk said otherwise. Charlie Kirk is a completely unreliable narrator and narrator. He also said in his video that we only had like 5 people in our crowd. If you go to my Instagram, you could see me standing in front of a crowd of at least 100. Thanks.
Yeah, so don't kick me. Can I give you an opinion real quick?
I mean, can you respond to the fact that your source of evidence lies a lot, and I just gave you a really easy way to prove that they were lying because they said in the video that maybe 5 people showed up. I have a picture with over 100.
Everyone completely saw how unorganized and what a disaster it was the first time.
But you didn't. And no, actually, I disagree with that claim because you didn't. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. You specifically don't know shit. Tell me exactly what was not organized. I want you to describe from your perspective exactly what was not organized because I'm gonna be very clear. I don't think you know where the actual issues lie. This is just a Republican speaking words into existence, etc.
So, like, showing up uninvited, trying to bully your way to the front of the line.
I'm going to cut you off there because we were invited. We were invited by the Aggie Dims. That was like a first lie. Continue.
All I'm saying is try an indirect approach because right now it just looks horrible.
Continue. I want you to continue speaking about exactly what was like unorganized because I'm already telling you that although like the claim is true, there's a lot of things that were not organized at all.
You guys
that's
are,
why we're splitting from the pack. My claim is that you don't know.
campus.
My claim is that you don't know. That
No,
you
I
don't know what
watched
the
all
real
of it.
issues are.
I watched all of it. You guys are like wandering around the college campus, like trying to get closer. Once you realize you can't, you set up shop like a little ways. Like it's like, dude, just get it organized, right? Have your people reach out to Charlie, get something set up. Like, how hard could it possibly be? I mean, you have that many followers. Like, why are you? I don't get it. Why you're fucking with all these people that are fighting amongst each other. And now you guys just look horrible all over the world stage. It's crazy.
So like usually when I'm doing these debates with Trump supporters, like I win the conversation because I'm more educated about these external conversations, like the policy of the administration whatsoever. But like I feel almost bad debating you on something that I was personally involved in that you were not personally involved in, and the only source of information that you've gotten on it is from Charlie Kirk's TikTok feed. I feel like this is a very unfair. No, just listen. I feel like this is a very unfair dialogue. But you're saying that that we try to get closer to Charlie Kirk when we realized we couldn't. We set up shop elsewhere. So actually, the night before, we learned that the school had canceled our permit to be where we were originally. So then we were granted a new location around 15 minutes from where our original permit was supposed to be, and we were there for a handful of hours until the school rescheduled the original permit to 6:30 p.m. that night, and then we stayed there for another couple hours. Listen, at the end of the day, there was a lot of issues with the tour. That's an objective fucking fact. If you're watching, I bet that you've heard about a lot of them, especially if you've been involved in me and my content for the last 2 days. We have literally gone over every specific issue with the tour. In fact, I bet there's still creators on live right now going over more, and there's more creators on live last night going over so many more, right? But as it relates to actual boots on the ground in Texas, figuring out the event on the day of, me and other creators specifically had a pretty damn good time.
And again, bro, I'm not hating. Seriously, I want to see you, Parker, Santana. I want to see a good, valid debate, right? That's something I think anybody would want to see.
Oh, did you know?
I'm just saying,
did you
there's
know
a
that,
way
like,
to approach it.
Did you know that Charlie Kirk, so after I posted my video, like showing that Charlie Kirk is scared of me, like 70 million people saw it, Charlie Kirk's executive producer and personal manager actually reached out to me, and I had a conversation with them, and they said that they wanted to like schedule a sit down. So then I announced it on Twitter. I think it's my pinned tweet still, saying that Charlie Kirk has agreed to a one-on-one sit down debate on his podcast in around a month from now. Haven't heard a word back since. How do you feel about that? Isn't that kind of crazy that they said that they want to schedule a sit down? Even talked to them over the phone, said let's select dates. Said that they were going to do it that same night. Haven't heard back in over a week and a half.
Again, is the approach like a business platform, or is it more of like, here, I'm going to make you look stupid? Like, you know what I mean? You know the difference? Like, it's like a person's not going to let you come to their concert
You're not
and
responding.
like get on
You're
stage.
not responding to what I said. I'm going to go and reiterate what I said. So Charlie Kirk's executive producer reached out to me and said Charlie would like to invite you to have a private sit-down one-on-one conversation on his podcast in around a month from now.
Golden, there you go.
Let's
What are you
talk
waiting for?
time. I talked time with him. We agreed to do it. I announced that it's going to happen. And then they ignore me, and they have been ignoring me for the last 2 weeks. So he agreed to a private one-on-one sit-down, and I haven't heard back from him in 2 weeks. How does that sound to you?
It sounds like a red flag on both parties. I mean, maybe he was not okay with something that the tour did, or maybe it wasn't something directly you did. I don't know. But, like, all I'm saying is find the road to make it happen, bro. You can. And you don't need 50 fucking creators to do it. You don't need Z. You don't need nobody. You could do it, dude. You can make it happen in a smooth and productive way.
All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. Listen. I feel like I was probably unnecessarily provocative there, unnecessarily opposed to what he was saying. I just have a really hard time listening to critiques of the tour from people on the right. That's all. But
Do those close
there
to her?
was few words that you said there that were true. I don't think that they were true because of the sources where you probably got them from. But nonetheless, there was a couple things that you said there that were true, and I could agree with that. But a couple things that weren't. What's going on, Apple user? Do you support Trump?
Indeed, I do, Dean.
Age, please.
I'm 31.
What year were you born in? Oh, man. You almost made it. Okay, goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everyone. We're going to go to get Chandler up on the live. Everyone just do give us a minute, y'all. Y'all already know, quite frankly. And oh my God. Yo, Regina! Thank you for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much, Regina. Can everybody please show some love to Regina down below in the comment sections for the $50 super chat over on YouTube? That is so incredibly kind. Thank you so much for the love. W fucking Regina's down below right now. Thank you so very, very much. That is incredibly kind of you. W Regina's down below. as well as Max. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat saying, I love what you do. I hope you have a great day. Thank you, Max. Shout out to Regina and Max, as well as Bobby. Thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you, Max, Bobby, and Regina. You guys are all so incredibly kind, and thank you so much. As well as I'd like to thank Karista and Becca for the $5 on Venmo, and Matthew for the $20 donation over on Venmo. Everybody, please show some love to Matthew down below in that chat, saying sending love from Fort Collins. Hey man, it's a beautiful place up there. Lived in Boulder for years, and I want to move back. Hell yeah! And then also Mary, thank you so much for the $15 donation over on PayPal, and Sarah with a $20 donation over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Sarah and Mary. Show some love down below in that comment section right now. Thank you guys so much. What is going on, Olivia? Do you support the current administration?
Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's great. I actually have a few questions. So like I grew up in a very conservative town, like very, very small, like dominant like white people. And so I think I'm just really confused as to like obviously now I'm in college and I'm seeing so much more about like Kamala, right? That's how you pronounce her name?
Yeah.
And like all of her policies, and I'm just wondering like because I see what she is saying, like standing for. Why is it that during the voting, like everything happening, why did Trump get so many supporters when, like, to me, it's kind of an obvious choice as to who you should vote for. Also, I'm 20. I'm turning 21 June 29th. So like.
Yeah, let's go through them here. Propaganda, COVID, racism, misogyny.
Okay.
I think if I was to respond to your question in a nutshell, those would be the four responses: propaganda, COVID, racism, misogyny.
Do you think a big one would be misogyny? Because I feel like when it was Trump versus Biden, for example, like obviously Biden won. So I'm just wondering, like, would you say misogyny is the biggest one out of all of that?
I think it's obviously like a big one. I don't know how I'd like order that list. But I think at the end of the day that like of course racism and misogyny were a huge factor in the outcome of the election. The reason why I like know that for a fact is because every so often I'll have somebody come up on my live and literally say that Biden was a better pick than Harris. Like what? I'm like that's just not that's there's no way you could come to that conclusion in the absence of like racism and misogyny in my mind. But yeah, I think it was an interplay of racism, misogyny, propaganda, and COVID. Yeah.
Okay. I also have, because like I personally I didn't vote. I'm not registered, and I want to know. I just saw like Trump signing papers where it gives like schools the permission to like enforce disciplinary on the students, and I was wondering, have you heard of that, or like did you see that?
I saw the headline, but I have not read. I have not read deeper than the headline. I saw this last night before I went to bed. I think that's actually on my to-do list. It's really hard to keep up sometimes with everything that the administration is doing because everything that they do is fucking bad and deserving of research. Especially when I do what I do. But yeah, that's on my to-do list. Next job, next live. I'll know about it. You got it.
Okay, because there's also some questions that I had for that. Last one, since I'm in college, a lot of my international friends, right, they participated in protests and ended up getting their visas revoked. Do you know, like how or why that is? I mean, all I'm getting told is it's because they participated in protests and like now that's like they're not allowed to. And so they're having to go back to mainly China. So like I just want to know like how's that even possible? How can that be allowed?
Well, it's because the Trump administration has like some authority to revoke visas from individuals. And they're arguing that they can do so specifically in this circumstances because of anti-Semitism. However, I don't think that that's going to be true in every single scenario, if any scenario that I've seen so far. And in my mind, I do think that this is absolutely a way to circumnavigate the First Amendment of the Constitution. It might even be unconstitutional, but I haven't seen any rulings from courts. But at the end of the day, I can definitely say that it's wrong. 110%. Very, very wrong.
Mm-hmm. I also agree. I don't understand, like, what's the difference with international students participating in these protests versus, like Americans who are here and like can't get
Like
their visas revoked.
the only difference is that our current our current administration has an argument that they could do something to silence the international students because of either ties to the CCP, anti-Semitism, and the fact that they're here on visas, compared to like students that are American citizens, where like it's very obvious that the First Amendment applies. So it's just a target against immigrants, as well as they have an easier time targeting immigrants for the reasons that I just kind of outlined. It's a little bit more gray as it would relate to the law. So they have less flack doing so. But great questions, Olivia.
Okay, that's all I think I really have to ask. Thank you so much. Also, I see a lot of people asking why I didn't vote. So I grew up in a very like conservative house, and I just want to like let you all know like I was not allowed to like do all that. I can't really explain much more. I'm
know
so
what?
sorry, guys.
But you're gonna do better in the future. I know it. I appreciate your questions. You're great. But yeah, seriously, please do get out there and vote next time. But thank you so much, Olivia. Have a good one.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
As well. Hello, Megan. Go ahead and unmute that mic. I sent you a request to unmute it. Megan, quite frankly, I'm going to need you to unmute that mic. Megan, if you're paying attention to me, I could actually show you how to do it. So I want you to click on that picture of yourself down below in the box. Once you've clicked on the picture of yourself, this will pop up and you'll see an icon of a mic right there. If you click the icon of the mic, you'll then unmute yourself and you'll be able to speak.
How's it going, you nigger?
Sorry.
MAGA, 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 MAGA.
Okay, I think that's a troll. We're going to move on to the next guest. If you're one of the 7.8 thousand people listening in, I appreciate you for being here. First and foremost, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like to come up and have a conversation with me. I think that'd be great. We're just looking to discuss with individuals that do support the current administration. So if you support the current administration and you'd like to come up here and have a debate, drop a MAGA down below in that comment section literally right now, quite frankly. And as well as if you'd like to support me and support the stream, you could find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio, as well as in the pin message on YouTube. People are saying that the guest said the N-word. My immediate reaction was that they were saying MAGA and it was lagging, but if they were saying the N-word, I'm glad I kicked them nonetheless, because obviously that's fucking insane and wrong. Hello, Beck. Do you support Trump? Yeah, they said MAGA. Yeah, that's kind of what I heard as well. What's going on, Beck? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, why's that?
Well, I support the Second Amendment.
Okay, out of the last two administrations, what is the only administration that has passed policy relating to gun control that was ruled unconstitutional in violation of the Second Amendment?
I don't know. Are you about to give me the answer?
Yeah, Trump. Bump stock ban.
Okay.
Boom. It doesn't really get much more complex than that. You support the Second Amendment. Trump literally passed policy that violated the Second Amendment. Biden and Harris didn't. Anything to say or nothing? Beck, really? And the live got banned for a guest violation. That is super cool. Sweet. Oh my God. And it won't let me violate it. Oh, okay. What got me banned was actually that last guest. They actually might have said the N-word. Hey, real quick, I'm going to play the violation clip that we just received because we got it. Huge. I just want to say, if you don't want to potentially hear slurs, please, at this point, just turn your volume down, click out of the stream for maybe a minute. Want to let y'all know that because I want to listen back to this clip and hear exactly what was said that got the stream taken down. So once again, everybody coming in here, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip in around 10 seconds. Okay. If you don't want to hear the hate speech that was flagged by TikTok in this clip, please simply just turn down your volume. I just want to see what got us banned. So we're doing that now. Mute yourself and you'll be able to speak.
How's it going, you nigger?
There you go. Okay. Okay. All right. That was very clear. 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 That was very, very clear. Okay. Okay. All right. It won't even let me appeal the ban. Dude, I hate that, like, I get banned. You know? Like, I kick these people off. I kick these people off so incredibly quick. And then they ban me. Oh boy. Give me 1 second here. All right. All right, here's the deal. So we got banned on @Dean Get a Grip. Unfortunate. So what we will be doing at this point is heading over to another one of our accounts. Let's see if we have any free accounts. Looks like we have this one free. Brad, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. I don't understand how people could go so low in life that they have to take down your stream. It's so sad and pathetic. Please don't stop what you do. Oh, I appreciate that, Cooper. Yeah, it's just like people taking advantage of the TOS. It sucks. It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. I fucking hate it. It's so exploitative too. And if anything, it gets people to violate the TOS more, bro. Oh my god. Okay. All right, chat. Anyways, we're live now on @ItMightBeDean on TikTok. Guys, if you're tuning in, welcome into the stream, y'all. Welcome into the stream, you guys. Make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. We got taken down on our other accounts, so now we're live on here @ItMightBeDean. As well as, oh my god, Noah! Thank you so much for the 250... Wait, sorry. What the fuck? 200. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you for the love, Noah. Everybody, please show some love to Noah down below in that chat. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Guys, W fucking Noah. Noah says, damn, I'm so sorry they have to go through that. I'm sorry that y'all had to hear that. Okay, let's start there. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube, Noah. It does really mean the world. Everybody, show some love to Noah. But y'all, we are going to be loading up my main account up here as a guest so we can push out to the Nota Gang over on the main account. Then we're going to hop right back into the debate. So if you're tuning in, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen, sharing that live. You all already know. All right, here we go. We're going to get that main account up here as a guest. Bada boom, bada bang. It's loading in. Here we go. Join, load in, mute. Perfect. As well as Danessa. Thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat. Thank you, Danessa. All right. Based. We're going to get that first guest up in the stream. If you're in that queue, make sure you all support Trump. You already know. What's going on, Jimmy? Do you support Trump?
I do, yes.
Okay, Jimmy. What? Adriana, thank you for the galaxy.
Mainly on the
Jimmy, you got a lot of wind, and can you go inside anywhere? Quite frankly,
I can't go inside now. I don't have a house.
What?
I don't have a house right now, dude.
You all right, man?
No, I'm fine. Probably be at my grandma's tonight. All right, see ya.
Hey, man, I've been there before too, Jimmy. That shit sucks.
No, I'm fine.
Hey, man,
I'll be good.
Take care of yourself. I'm happy to hear that you got a grandma. Make sure to reach out, get that on confirmation. I've actually done the same exact thing. I've been without a house for an evening and had to spend the night at the grandma too. That shit really sucks, man.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it though. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm still gonna move on to the next guest because of the background noise. But seriously, man, just know that we all feel bad for you, and I've personally been in your exact situation myself, and that shit sucks.
All right, thank you.
Of course, man. Take care.
All right.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that is such an uncomfortable position to be in. And I'm glad to hear that he has that support system around him. Like he possibly has like grandparents he could stay with. But like even in that situation, like it's hard, man. It's really hard. What's going on, Camila? Do you support Trump? Thanks for the love. All right, moving on to the next guest. Here we go, y'all. Do give me a minute, y'all. If you're in that queue, make sure that you support Trump. Make sure they were also double tapping away in that.
Hey.
Live. What's going on, Caden? Do you support Trump?
No, but I have a really quick question. I was wondering where you get your information from, because I really want to study for whenever I vote next term. So I want to be like politically educated, so I don't vote for the wrong person.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The way I get my information probably isn't the best, but this is how I do it nonetheless. I find it to be the most effective for me. So I actually watch like other like news reporters on TikTok that essentially report on like every single thing that happens in the government, and then I just simply fact check that against reporting from reputable institutions like Reuters or AP to make sure that the information which is being relayed is true and accurate. And that's like essentially the way that I get my information. And yeah, I understand that there's probably better ways for me to get my information, but that is the way I do it now.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Take care, Kaiden. We're going to move on to the next guest, everyone. Do be patient. Give us a minute. Hey, what's going on, Cupboard? Do you support Trump?
I don't exactly know.
Okay.
I think so I voted for him, but I was kind of pressured into it. I don't know a lot of his policies, but
man,
I was kind of pressured into.
Yeah, dude, I know a lot of people that were that happened to as well. I'm gonna say the best place for you to be is watching the live, so maybe you could get like my perspective on things, learn about the perspective of others, and I think that's a really good place for you to be, man.
All right. Well, thank you for having me up here.
Of course. Take care.
All right.
We're gonna move on to the next guest, y'all. Everyone, do be patient. We got Andy loading up into that stream right now. Quite frankly. Here we go. All right, next guest is loading in right now, as well as everyone of the 3.1 thousand people watching. Welcome back into the stream. I know that we did get taken down on that other account, which is very unfortunate. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
No, I do not at all. Have not ever.
W Andy, quite frankly. W Andy. That's right. W Andy. Moving on, Garen. Here we go, y'all. Everybody, do be patient. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Very quickly. Is it okay if I'm a moderate, but I just have a specific issue I want to talk about? Is that okay?
I guess that we are typically looking for individuals that support the administration, but I mean, if there's an issue where you do support them, feel free.
Okay, so this is actually an issue that I'm agnostic on. I think we actually have a lot in common outside of this issue. So, for example, I think we're both agnostic in terms of religion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
So this isn't a religious-based argument, but I do sort of want to talk about abortion, if that's okay.
Do you think that it should be federally protected or not?
So this is where it gets a little complicated for me because this is where I'm agnostic on it. So I think I think it depends on what we're constituting as a life, because if it's constituted as a life, then of course I don't think that there should be a federal protection for it. But if it's not constituted as a life, then we shouldn't infringe on the rights of women, obviously.
So I think it's constituted as a life at the moment of conception. I just simply don't think it's wrong to end that life because it doesn't have the ability to deploy sentience.
Okay, so you think what gives moral worth is sentience? And I think in the past I've heard you say the conjunct of past, present, future, conscious experience. Is that still your position?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. So I guess where I'm sort of coming in is sort of the basis for this conjunct being the moral principle to uphold, because I think there's a tendency to criticize pro-life people who support the pro-life position as oh, they just want to infringe on the rights of women. But what if it's simply that they're just running a different conjunct than you? Because I don't think there's an objective basis to deploy a conjunct. It's sort of just...
I think that pro-life views inevitably lead to more human rights violations against women and girls.
Okay, so for example, you would say abortion past 20 weeks is wrong, right?
Madison, thank you so much for the galaxy. I do really appreciate you so much for that. Yeah, elective lethal abortions after around 20 through 24 weeks is wrong. However, I've never been able to find a single circumstance of a single woman getting an elective lethal abortion after that point, as well as the protections offered under Roe v. Wade allow states to legislate on elective lethal abortions after 20 weeks. The same views true under Donald Trump's policy. But hey, man, if you want to say one or two more things, that's fine. But I'm just now kind of realizing that you're probably not a Trump supporter and you just wanted to have a conversation about abortion, and that's fine. But we are definitely just looking to talk to individuals that do support the administration. But if you want to finish your thought here, feel free.
Okay. I guess I'll just ask a later on question that I had. So you use this example a lot where it's if there's 10 zygotes versus like one human baby. Should you save the 10 zygotes for the one human baby? And I would agree with you that you should save the one human baby over the 10 zygotes. But I guess my problem with that argument is just because you could say that like a baby has more moral value than like 10 zygotes doesn't give you like the positive affirmation to end the 10 zygotes existence. Like, for example, I'd say a human has more moral worth than a dog, but I wouldn't affirm that you could kill dogs.
Yeah, I think that that's a consistent position. However, like typically that analogy or hypothetical is used in response to people that say that zygotes would have an identical amount of moral value compared to born humans. And more so the reason why, I don't think that abortion is justified because I'd save a newborn over 10 zygotes. I think that abortion is justified because I don't think that there's any like morally relevant traits of a fetus. But I appreciate you for the question, Garen.
Of course, yeah. Have a nice day, man.
You as well. We're going to move on to the next guest. If you're watching and you do support Trump, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll pull you up on the live right now. Linda, thank you so much for the $20 donation over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Linda. Everybody, please show some love to Linda down below in that comment section right now. Linda says, your clip on the David Pakman show is amazing. I was tagged in that. Apparently, Linda, David Pakman was reacting to my clip of me calling out that lady for telling me that Trump's policy was shit. And then when I told her it was Trump's policy, then she's like, no, it was Obama's. I did see that. I need to watch this video. What's going on, Diego? Do you support Trump?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Fuck why?
A lot of reasons. Can we talk about how much of a disaster the Unfuck America tour was, though, for a second?
Sure.
That was an absolute fucking disaster.
Okay. What about it specifically?
Literally everything. You guys literally gathered a crowd of like fucking like probably like 100 people and then expected to just get in line right away and just immediately start debating Charlie Kirk.
Well, let's break those down into two separate issues. Your first issue is that we had a crowd of over 100 people.
Where's
the disaster in that, Diego?
It's okay. I'll reword it. I spoke wrong. There's not an issue. It's hilarious.
Why is that hilarious?
Compared to how many people you guys had compared to Charlie Kirk.
Well,
you guys were a circus.
Diego, I would expect Charlie Kirk to have significantly more people show up for him. The reason why I say that is because he's been doing this for 12 years, and he's probably the most prominent conservative voice insofar as social media. And like this has become like a tradition of his to go around.
You can just admit he's better than you.
Diego,
you can admit he's better than you.
If you're not up here to rage bait and you're actually here to like have a conversation, that would imply that you probably don't want to interrupt me while I'm speaking. But if you're just here to rage bait, Diego, at the end of the day, I think that you're essentially just like another brainless MAGA droid that follows whatever Daddy Kirk and Daddy Trump say. You don't think for yourself. You're a shill of the right, and you're the reason why this country is crumbling. But I'm so happy to not get into that and ignore that for right now if you're just willing to have a good conversation with me and let me finish speaking.
Okay, each time you talk, I'll mute. I promise. Go ahead. I'm serious. Go ahead.
Great. So, I mean, you said that it was hilarious that Charlie Kirk had larger crowds than me. I mean, I'd expect that, man. He's been doing it for 12 years. He's the most prominent conservative voice in social media, and he's made a tradition of going around college campuses every single year when school's in. That was like the first time I've done an event like this. It had poor management, poor advertising insofar as where we're going to be in a win, and like the specific time on campus as well. In fact, I'm like, I mean, you're just saying that Charlie Kirk had a larger crowd. Like, okay, and like I'd expect that. You know, like this is just the start.
Well, no, I'm saying he had a larger crowd because he's better than you guys, and you guys will never be as successful as he is.
Wait, so you don't think that a reason he had a larger crowd was because he's been doing it for 12 years, and this was our very first
Not
time?
what I said. If you listen to me, that's not what I said. I said the reason I'm saying it's because you guys aren't as good as him.
Okay, if he's better than me, how come he's running from me?
He's not running from you. He already debated you. He already debated you.
On where?
You know he debated you. Don't lie.
So I've had 1 3-minute conversation with him. That's true.
Is that okay? Is that not a debate?
Actually, I'd classify that as maybe like 1/10 of a debate. But I'd like to clarify exactly why
it's
I
a
say.
conversation.
Could I clarify? Could I clarify to you why I say he's running from me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean, at the event, you saw the video that I posted. He literally didn't want to talk to me when everybody in the crowd wanted him to talk to me, including like the MAGA individuals there. And then B, after the event, he ended up having his executive producer reach out to me. His executive producer told me over text that Charlie Kirk would love to have a private sit-down, one-on-one conversation with me, so we could actually discuss these things because he was getting called out for being a runner. And then the executive producer said, "Well, let's choose dates." Hop on the phone with him. I agreed to do it. Then I'm like, "Okay, send me over some potential dates." It's been 2 weeks. weeks, and I've followed up a handful of times, and there's been no movement. Not to mention, this isn't the first time Charlie Kirk has pulled this move of saying he wants to debate me and then backing out. He also did this after Jubilee. After Jubilee, he said that he would love to have a private one-on-one sit-down conversation with me. He went on the George Janko's podcast and said that he thought that I was a respectful, intelligent debater and that he would love to sit down with me again. And then even his manager reached out to me then and said, yes, Charlie Kirk would love to have another sit-down with you after the election. I followed up 4 times after the election on that, and he's never agreed to it again. So basically, he keeps agreeing to sit down with me. And then when push comes to shove to choose a date and make it happen, he says he's not going to do it. I classify that as running, man.
It's so funny how entitled you are to think that you're his only priority in life. Like, dude, people take a while to respond to stuff when you're that famous. Like, relax. Like, you're not his only priority in life. It's okay. It's okay. It sounds like you're clinging on to him and obsessed with him. It sounds like he doesn't give a shit about you. And it sounds like you're the one that's obsessed with talking to him. Why isn't it the other way around? Why isn't he obsessed with, oh, let me debate Dean? Because you don't mean anything to him.
So, I mean, he's the one that had his executive producer reach out and send me a full fucking essay on how bad he wants me to come on his show and have a conversation with me.
So is he running
After
or not? Which
I
one
got
is it?
50 million views exposing him for being a fraud. And then when you say that I'm obsessed with him and it's not the other way around, buddy, I want you to go and check how many videos I've posted about Charlie Kirk since my original one, calling him out for being afraid of me, and then go to his account and see how many videos he's posted about me.
So is he running or not? Which one
I want you to respond to the last part. If I'm obsessed with him and he's not obsessed with me, how come he's made like fucking 4 videos about me since Texas A&M, and I've made zero videos about him since Texas A&M?
Probably for that reason. You probably already are aware that people are going to say, oh, this, then that. And you probably are just playing defense.
Okay, so that was a completely incoherent response to the question that I asked you. You said that I'm obsessed with him. He's not obsessed with me. So how come he's posted 4 videos about me since A&M, and I posted 0 videos about him since A&M?
You've posted on your Twitter. I know that for a fact.
I posted a tweet announcing that I agreed to a sit-down, bro.
No, you didn't. You said Charlie Kirk's a runner. You can pull it up right now.
That was the day on A&M. I said since A&M, since my original video calling him out for running, which would include the tweet that said Charlie Kirk's a runner. Those were posted within 30 minutes of one another. So explain to me why it is the case that we see Charlie Kirk posting 4 videos about me while I'm posted 0 videos about him since the original video that both him and I posted of him running away from me.
You dedicated an entire trip to going to see him. You guys.
So you're not going to respond to what I said. Got it. Thank you so much.
That's my answer.
Got
How
it.
is that not
Thank you so
responding?
much. Because it's specifically not responding to the fact that he has his executive producer reach out to me at schedule a sit down, never responds with specific dates when the executive producer said that he would get back to me with specific dates that same night. And he posted 4 to 5 videos about me since the Texas A&M trip when I posted 0 about him. It sounds like somebody just has a crush on Daddy Kirk. And when Dean completely embarrassed him with this undeniable video that completely demonstrated him to be a fraud that is running from me, this pissed off Charlie Kirk fanboys because I just objectively took the W, and B, this pissed off Charlie Kirk, and that's obviously true via the fact that he's posted 4 videos about it since.
Did he dedicate an entire trip to going to see you though?
No, he didn't.
Oh, why didn't he do that?
Oh, so you're shifting the goalpost now. I will happily engage in a conversation about the reason of the trip and why it was a great thing, but I just want to make it incredibly clear that this is you objectively shifting the goalpost. You could not defend the original. You could not defend the original goalpost of the position of me referencing like the reason why I think you're upset, the fact that he's posted 4 videos since I've posted 0 about him. You cannot defend the previous goalpost set, so now you have to shift to this new rhetorical position, which does not account or refer to any of the prior goalposts that you've set.
Can I speak or not? If I can speak.
If you tell me why you're shifting the goalpost, you could speak.
Can you let me speak?
Yeah, if you tell me why you're shifting the goalpost in your response, absolutely.
I already said you got me with that one. You got me. You got me. So regardless of it not shifting, that may be considered shifting. You already said you got me with that one. So
Great. Then your next question was, well, you're obsessed with him because I dedicated a trip to go see him, right?
It wasn't just you. It was you, Parker, a bunch of people.
I dedicated a trip insofar as to serve the purpose of disrupting a propaganda war machine that's funded by $44 million per year.
You didn't.
So now you're interrupting me. You just asked me to stop interrupting you.
You've talked this entire time. Go ahead.
Thank you, Diego. So I didn't dedicate a trip to see Charlie Kirk. I dedicated a trip to interrupt and disrupt a war machine that's backed by $44 million in funding.
And
per
you
year,
failed.
And you're interrupting me again. Seemingly, when people interrupt me, they know that they're losing the conversation.
You failed doing that.
Oh, I failed doing that? Well, according to the Center for American Progress, me and my reporting on Charlie Kirk was the biggest talked about thing in politics for 48 hours straight. I don't
No,
think
it
it was a
wasn't.
failure. Yes, it
No,
was.
it wasn't.
The Center
No.
for American Progress. They
No,
have
it
public
wasn't.
reports. They have
No, it
public
wasn't.
daily reports. It absolutely was. I'm giving you my
No, it
source.
wasn't.
I'm giving you my source, and you're just going, nuh-uh, typical conservative. Stay pissed, buddy.
It's not true. You're lying.
Yeah, I know.
But,
That's what you do when you get refuted and disproven. That's what you do. I won. I'm sorry. I won. I
Dude,
won,
and what
Diego.
you do is-
I'm sorry. Diego, I won. You lost. I'm right. You're wrong. Take it on the chin and move on.
And you mute. That's all you do. So, I mean, you can say, I do this, I do that. You just mute.
Well, I
It's
muted you
what?
because you specifically interrupted me.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. Oh, my God.
So, I mean, how do you feel about that fact? You said that it was a complete, total, utter failure. Listen to this.
It was. It was.
See, this
It
is
was.
why I mute you, because you interrupted me. I think that if you violate boundaries that are set, like please don't interrupt me every fucking 5 seconds, that obviously you're going to get muted. But then when you face the consequences of your action, you complain about it. That kind of sounds like my 5-year-old nephew. Now, in response to your claim saying that it was a failure, I think that there's a lot of things dysfunctional about the tour. In fact, I've dedicated the last 48 hours of my existence thinking and talking about them. But any
Cool,
of the
so-
legitimate failures
cool,
of the
so we agree.
tour are things that you don't care about. Not at all. Not at all.
I care about
and
that.
as it relates to the efficacy of the work that I did boots on the ground in Texas, that was very successful. Once again, right? I was the most talked about thing in politics for 40 hours straight, according to the Center for American Progress.
Not true.
I'm giving you my source and you're denying it. Great. You're setting a really good precedent.
No,
for how
I'm saying
America
it's
should
not.
act.
I'm saying it's not true that that's the only thing I care about the tour. You have racist.
Yeah.
you have-
So let me get this straight. You say that's not true. Do you have any evidence that's not true?
that what's not true.
That, according to the Center of American Progress, that wasn't the most engaged.
If you just
in
listen to me,
politics
that's not
for
if
40
you just-
hours straight.
If you just listened to me, you would have realized it's not what I was talking about.
So
You-
tell us what you're talking about.
Okay, you said before that's the only thing you care about the tour that was bad. No, it's not. You just were
Okay.
talking.
Yeah. What else
about
do you
that.
think was dysfunctional, man? Let's hear the critiques.
All the drama between you guys? That's pretty dysfunctional when people part of the same group fucking argue with each other and have all this drama.
And you said that the organizer is being racist, right?
I don't actually know that for a fact. I just heard all this shit could be bullshit, so I have no idea.
Well, guess what? It's not bullshit. But I just don't think that you'd personally care about their racism. I mean, shit, you voted for somebody that called all black people lazy and perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama, specifically to instantiate that he wasn't born in America, but was rather born in Kenya, even
I have a
though
question
he had a
for
birth
you.
certificate from Hawaii, and you don't care. So I
That's-
want you to
that's
care
not- I have a
more, and I
question
think
for
it's
you.
good that you're getting involved in these conversations.
have
But
a question
ultimately
for
speaking,
you.
I just think that it's not because of good intentions.
I have a question for you.
Ask away.
What did she do that was racist? Just out of curiosity. You don't have to answer it. What was I'm
No,
'cause-
sure, man. I mean, I don't mind clarifying, but I just sense a very bad faith conversation. So, I mean, I could legitimately explain to you in good faith as long as you're willing to listen.
I'll mute.
Yeah, for sure. So, what Z particularly did was she engaged in racist microaggressions against black women on a TikTok live, and then didn't seek any recourse of accountability and/or responsibility, and then went on to take it out further on those creators as well as the creators that went on the tour. But specifically, what was racist was the microaggressions that were used against the black creators on TikTok.
Yeah, that sucks. I know you think I know you think that I'm being disingenuous, but that does suck. You can smile all you want, but I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, so did you want to?
I have a question.
You have more
Can
questions. Okay.
Can white people experience racism?
Can white people experience racism? So if you define racism in a systemic sense in America, no, because it is white people in which hold societal power, and it can't be used against them. But that's if you define racism in a systemic sense in America.
So if let's say a non-white person unalives another white person, is that racism? For the fact that they are white. Let's say someone that is not white, right? Unalives someone that is white because they are white. Is that racist?
I had this conversation a while back with somebody. I like according to the systemic view, I listen. Here's what I'm gonna say. I want to do more good faith research into those situations, like that on my own, because I do understand like the very like strong pull into very obviously calling that racist, but like I think it's important to like have a little bit more of a nuanced dialogue insofar as how this would fall in to like a greater understanding of what racism is, how it exists in a systemic sense, etc. And I'm just being good faith. I don't think any of that's gonna land with you, but I'm just being honest with my audience.
See, even that, like, why? What do you mean you don't think it's gonna land with me?
Because I just don't think that you're a good faith actor.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, cool. You can think that. I mean, I could say the same thing about you. It doesn't mean it's true.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else that you'd like to add on here or argue insofar as why you support the current administration?
Wait. So, what was your answer to the last one? Yes or no?
It's like I want to say yes, but I think that like further conversation will be required. Like I probably got to do further research, and I want to do further research into that because like there's like conceptions of racism in which would be like completely structural in the sense that because like white individuals hold power in America, and it is the case in which they exist as an oppressing class, like they can't.
All right, I get you don't want. I get you don't want to say yes or no.
More so, like,
we can move on.
Racism. Listen, I'm like being really good faith. Like I understand like the pull to say that if somebody literally murders somebody because of their race, that is racism. But like I just think it calls for like a greater conversation and better understanding of systemic racism. And like I understand that like that may not like land well with some of my audience, but like I'm just being honest.
Okay, so again, you don't want to say yes or no.
Well, I'm just appealing to the fact that I like think that more research would be required insofar as like those situations. But do you want to tell me any other reasons why you support the current administration?
Yeah, I'm pro-life.
Okay, so you don't think that women and girls should have access to abortion? Why is that?
If I do, no, I'm pro-life in certain situations. I guess there's, yeah, I'd say, but I'm also pro-choice in situations though.
Okay, so in what situations are you pro-life?
So the situation that I'm pro-life in is just if you intend to have a child and then after decide you don't want to.
Okay, why?
How does that not make sense?
I'm asking you why you think a woman that intends to have a child and changes her mind shouldn't be able to get an abortion.
I just think once you've made that decision and it's living organisms, you shouldn't just take that away.
Okay, why?
Because it's living organisms.
Because it's alive. Okay, so you just think that it's wrong to kill things that are living?
Yes.
Are you a vegan?
Say it again?
Are you a vegan?
No.
I thought you just said that you think it's wrong to kill things that are living.
I'm not the one killing the animals.
Oh, okay. So is a woman getting an abortion the one killing the fetus?
No. Are you a vegan?
Oh, okay. So because...
Are you a vegan?
So Diego, you're not going to interrupt my position. So you think that it's wrong to kill living organisms, but it's not wrong to pay other people to kill living organisms. So in other words,
no, I guess
you
I
can uphold the position that it is wrong, right, to kill a fetus, but it's not wrong with a woman that is pregnant with a fetus pays a doctor to kill it for them.
Okay, well, with the vegan thing, I guess you got me with that one. I didn't think about it like that.
Okay, so what's a position?
Say it again?
So then what's a position?
What do you mean?
Like, why do you think that women, under these circumstances, should not be able to access abortion?
I just think they're taking away something that's about to be their kid.
Okay, so they're killing something that's about to be their kid?
Yeah, I mean, it's not currently. I mean, they're killing.
So it's not currently their child?
Wait, hold on. Something that is about to be their living, like born child.
Oh, wait. So you said something that's about to be living. So it's not.
No, not living. Born.
So then, what the fuck is it? So something that's about to be born. So it's always wrong to kill things that might be born in the future.
You're just gonna pull the same vegan thing. So it's. I think.
I'm just trying to understand what your position is, bro.
Let me think about how to word it. Because I will say this: if a woman, I think it's disgusting that a woman doesn't have the choice to, I don't know what I can say on this live. because I don't want you to get flagged or have it get taken down. So, okay, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this, but I think it's disgusting that if a woman gets assaulted in that category, she has to deliver the baby. That's disgusting to me.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that you hold that exception. But once again, I'm very specifically asking you why you think that women shouldn't be able to access abortion in elective circumstances.
I think once it's past a certain stage.
Okay, so like what stage specifically?
I don't know how many weeks it is, but once it's like, I'm not very educated on what
Viable
like, the weeks
outside of the
are.
womb, like it could live outside of the mother's uterus? Is that your
Yes.
position? Okay, turns
Yeah.
out you and me have the same position. So viability occurs at around 20 through 24 weeks. So that means that you think that all women and girls should have access to abortion up until that point, which is my position too. Congrats, you're pro-choice.
No, I'm not.
So am I also not pro-choice because we have the same position?
So, okay, but do you support if someone was to get an abortion after those, you don't support that?
I think that elective lethal abortions after 20 through 24 weeks are wrong.
Okay, so that would be you being pro-life, though.
So you're saying that I'm pro-life? That's a position.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm saying that's like.
So Dean's pro-life now under your own
No, I'm
view?
not. I'm saying
See,
that's.
this is like the issue. There's some people.
See,
there's some people that will accept the substance of a position. Like we get Diego to literally concede on like the most typical pro-choice view known to mankind, right? Arguing that elective lethal abortions. Diego, stop.
You
Calm
won't
down.
let me.
Just
You
calm
won't let me
down.
speak.
I will let
You
you
won't
speak
let me.
after I do. Just give it a second.
I've been talking this whole time.
I'm gonna talk some more, Diego. I'm sorry. I'll let you speak as soon as I'm done. So I feel like we actually see this a bit.
No one gives a fuck about your speech. Just shut the fuck up. All you've done this whole
Somebody's
time is
fucking
talk.
pissed.
Yes, because it's not.
Have you eaten yet today?
No, I have an eating disorder.
Same, man. Same.
Do you?
Yeah, it's been a struggle over the course of my life. I've
Look,
periods
I feel
where
like-
I've been working with it well, periods where I haven't worked with it.
I
as
feel like
well.
you're making fun of me. I feel like you're making fun of me right now.
Okay, well I'm not, quite frankly.
I feel like
Okay, Diego, I'm gonna put you on mute. I'm gonna say what I want to say. Now, anyways, what I want to
you
say.
actually do you
Diego, what the
do
fuck
you
are you doing?
have one? Do you actually have one, or were you just trying to make fun of me?
No, I actually do.
Currently have one.
I mean, it's a little bit more in like remission right now. I'm doing better. I mean, I've done better in the past, but I've also done worse. But I mean, that's neither here nor there in this conversation.
I mean, you decided to laugh at me about it, so.
I didn't laugh at you about shit, Diego.
Yeah, you did. I can't tell if you're being genuine or not.
Okay, yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I mean, I think that you
Okay.
just need to chill the fuck out. Okay.
Well, no, I never said you were pro. I said that's a pro-life stance. I never said you are pro-life.
And now I'm going to continue to speak what I was saying because once again, you're still interrupting me. So yeah, like the view that I described insofar as like why I'm pro-choice of essentially thinking that all women and girls should have access to elective lethal abortions until 20
No one gives a fuck.
Okay, Diego, you're fucking crashing out because I'm dunking on you in this debate and you're scared of what I have to say. So you want to interrupt me and
not.
tell me
You
that
don't
nobody
let me-
gives a fuck
don't let
when
me
I have
speak.
over 8.5 thousand live viewers on TikTok and YouTube. I think it's time that you stop being such a sensitive little crybaby. And if you're actually in this live to have, a good conversation with somebody that disagrees with you, at least hear me out. But when you just interrupt me midway through and you're like, nobody gives a fuck, you're basically just reaffirming that you want to exist the rest of your life in a goddamn echo chamber where if anybody says anything that disagrees with you and they say it and they put a little bit of, heat on that pedal and they're able to argue it well, and it inevitably leads to a conclusion where
Speech.
you don't know what to say. Yeah, you
Nice
just
speech.
interrupt it and you say nobody gives a fuck because you want to continue to be wrong because that's what you feel comfortable in, right? So
Nice.
I'm going to give you one last opportunity to start acting your age and to be an adult. And the very bare minimum, just try to have a productive conversation with me. That's all that I'm asking, Diego. Right? At the bare minimum, all that I'm asking for you is to not interrupt me when I'm in the middle of a sentence saying, oh, nobody gives a fuck. It's so annoying. So one last opportunity to try. Let's start from the talk. Here's what I wanted to say. So you were able to tell me that your view is that you believe that all women and girls deserve access to lethal elective abortions until 20 through 24 weeks. Okay, right? And then after that point, you do think lethal elective abortions are wrong. However, you still do hold exceptions for grave medical exceptions, incest, etc. So this is a pro-choice view, okay? But anyways, what I wanted to add on earlier is that you said this is a pro-life view. And I think it's funny because I see this happen every so often where you could concede on the substance of a position and be like, okay, yeah, I see that. That's a good stance. But then you're just not okay with a label, right? And I feel like this is because of the propaganda of the right. They've made the label being pro-choice into something of the devil for people on the right. They made the label being a Democrat, the label of being a liberal, the label of being a leftist, like very bad, demonic, and terrible to people on the right. So I don't really care about the label. Okay, I wish you'd affirm that that's a pro-choice position, but as long as that's what you actually believe, I am okay with it. So, okay, do you concede to this apparently pro-life position of access to elective lethal abortions for all women and girls until 20 through 24 weeks?
This is why I'm getting so mad. I already said yes. This is why you want to say, "Oh, you're crashing out." I already said you just said all of that for literally no reason. I already conceded. So what's your point?
My main point was that like seemingly you're just not okay with the label, which is funny. So if you concede that all women and girls should have access under those parameters, that's exactly what Kamala Harris advocated for.
Fuck Kamala Harris.
Okay, so she advocated for this thing you believe in.
Fuck Kamala Harris.
Still
She's
don't
a
like
fucking
her.
idiot. She's a whore.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we're going to talk to somebody with more than like 3 brain cells. That's crazy. Remember when that other guest came up and she was like, hey, is it true that like racism and misogyny were a big motivation insofar as why Harris lost the election? Well, there's your answer. Hello, JG. Do you support Trump?
I voted for him, but I don't really support a bipartisan government, so I kind of wishy-washy there.
You don't support a bipartisan government?
Yeah, like this whole Democratic, Republican, you have to, I wish we had more parties involved. I wish we kind of had a more modern form of government than we do today.
Yeah, agreed. I think that the first step in getting there is like rank-based voting. But that's, unfortunately just not true today. So do you think that the Trump administration is doing a good job?
There are things I agree with. There are things I don't. Tariffs have historically not worked in the past, but I think as a concept, bringing things back to America, bringing more jobs back, also fighting back on some of the tariffs that, we've been exporting can be a good thing in concept.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's just not what we see like materialize as a result of Trump's policy.
Absolutely not when it gets passed on to the consumer either, but it is a long-term strategy. And it is a political chess piece in a way. To open up the forum for it's more or less like a debating proposition for world economics, right? If you say I'm going to tariff you and then they say I'm going to tariff you back, and then you kind of open up that table for discussion, and then more can come to fruition from that.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Repeat that one last time.
Repeat the question. Why don't we start from there?
Yeah, I was just asking you why you support the Trump administration.
I support the Trump administration because it's bringing change. And I didn't see that from the Democratic Party.
Okay,
I thought that Kamala said she was going to do a lot of the same things. Kamala
as the Biden-Harris administration. So you're basically saying that you support Trump to break the status quo. What was bad about the status quo that Trump is going to change?
Well, the economy, for one. I see a lot of people struggling.
So under the Biden-Harris administration, on the day of Trump's inauguration, we had projected 4% GDP growth in the first financial quarter of this year. Now it's negative 4%, and we're heading towards a recession, according to J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and the chairman of the Fed. So we did see some change in the economic position of this country and future prospects, but it was completely negative change. Like literally went from positive GDP growth to negative GDP growth.
I mean, we had a lot of down during the Biden-Harris administration as well, and given it was COVID, but
right. I mean, you just said it yourself. So there was some economic turmoil in the first few years of the Biden-Harris administration, but you just said it yourself. It wasn't caused by them; it was caused by the pandemic. But the difference is the recession that America's on track for now is 110% caused by the policy of Trump.
I could see how that is. I can also see it as that we're still suffering from the repercussions of a global pandemic.
No. So are you saying the repercussions of the global pandemic was to like dip down, GDP growth goes down, but then it goes back up, and then it goes up and up and up for like 3 years, 2 years, and then holy shit, that is a massive fucking spider on my wall.
I mean, I've seen the stock
wait.
market still going up.
Let me finish with what I was saying there. That is a massive fucking spider, dude. I gotta kill that thing. Oh no, I gotta kill that thing. It looks like a really big wolf spider I'm staring at right now. Anyways, so so you're arguing that it could be a result of like the pandemic? How? Literally fucking how?
I mean, a lot of our population still works remotely. A lot of companies outsource to other places.
And how did this cause America to go from like positive GDP growth to negative GDP growth?
Well, frankly, I just think Americans have gotten a little complacent. I don't think that we have a lot of the education and skill required for some of the jobs that we bring in over into America. And because of it, a lot of Americans are suffering financially.
Well, but dude, I want you to respond specifically to the question. You said that the recession that America is on track for now, that it was not on track for literally 100 days ago.
What do you mean? It was totally on track. We've been saying we've been on track for a recession for the last 8 years, if not more.
How could we be on track for a recession with like positive GDP growth per quarter? That makes no goddamn sense. Like what were the indicators? What were the macroeconomic indicators of a recession? 100 days ago.
Well, first off, the housing prices that
Higher housing prices
have continued.
Okay, so then you should have voted for the president that would usher in lower housing prices. Donald Trump has policy to make them more expensive. Kamala Harris had policy to make them less expensive.
Yeah, ifs and buts. I mean, we've seen both parties run on both sides promising both things, and none of that ever happened.
What
Right.
are you saying? Wait. So if you're concerned about false promises, Trump has made significantly more false promises than Biden or Harris, and Biden and Harris were the most effective administration in modern American history.
What is modern? The last 8 years?
The reason I say modern is because I'm not so sure about old administrations because of my age. I'd probably argue since Bush.
So I voted on Biden.
So stop pivoting. So I said
I'm not
this recession is
trying to give an
110%
example of my
manufactured
mindset.
by the. So wait, I have a question. So do you think the reason why we're on track to a recession right now, the reason why we went from positive GDP growth to negative GDP growth, is because of housing prices?
No, there's a lot that goes into it.
Okay,
and
so
I
then
don't
what
think
else
that's
is in it? Because my argument is that it's literally just Trump's policy, okay? Right? And the chairman of the Fed agrees, Atlanta Fed agrees, JP Morgan agrees, Goldman Sachs agrees. So if it's not that caused it, what did? Why did we go from positive GDP growth to negative GDP growth? Tell me.
Well, first off, we're only currently negative GDP growth, right? The economy typically bounces back. The NASDAQ typically continues to go up. Yes, there's ups and downs, but that doesn't mean it's permanent. I mean, look at just.
I'm asking you why we went from no projection of a recession in this fiscal year to a projection of a recession in this fiscal year.
So I don't agree with that statement. I don't think there was a projection that there was no recession on the rise.
Wait. I want you to name one institution of finance that had an official prediction of a recession in America this year prior to 100 days ago. Because that's a fact. That's an undeniable fact.
Okay, maybe prior to 100 days ago, but when we were giving out stimulus checks and we were doing certain other things under
like
the
4 years ago. I'm specifically speaking about, right, after we had bounced back from the pandemic. Because it didn't exist. So then answer the question, how come we went from no projection of a recession to a projection of a recession?
Because we instated tariffs.
Oh, thank you for the concession. Because Donald Trump implemented his policy, America is now barreling towards a recession.
Right. But we're now opening up the world forum for conversation. And for all we know, in another 100 days, we could bounce back higher. But that hasn't come to fruition yet.
Do you have any evidence of this?
Well,
because the chairman of the Fed disagrees. So why do you disagree with very reputable bodies of finance? You must have a lot of evidence to justify this claim. Feel free to give it to me.
I probably don't have the the knowledge to make a claim like that, but I can say that within that 4 days where everybody was freaking out when the tariffs first got enacted, the stock market bounced back to almost an equal level.
Yeah, because he put a pause on the tariffs. So
Not
he did
on
it.
all of
He,
the
he did a
tariffs,
thing.
even up China's tariff,
He did
and
a thing.
that's
He put a pause on tariffs on all countries outside of China. You're right. I'm sorry.
outside
So
of China.
he did a
Right.
thing, right, that caused the stock market to go to shit. Okay. Then he revoked 90% of the thing that he caused the stock market to go to shit for. So the stock market jumped back up 70%. This is like the most commonsensical thing fucking ever.
Yeah, but now we're also brokering trade with other countries other than China, who's we're mostly in debt to, like Taiwan and South America.
Right. I do not think that tariffs are a good tool to use to negotiate trade agreements with other countries because it's literally
And I agree with that.
it's the most abrasive
Off of
means
that.
possible that reduces the likelihood of further cooperation in the future. I think if we wanted to negotiate trade agreements with other countries, the better option would have been literal diplomacy. It's actually quite easy to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries as the world's largest economy. In fact, it's so easy that even Trump is able to do it. In his first term, he renegotiated the USMCA with Mexico and Canada.
Yeah, I agree. But why didn't he do that this time around?
I don't know. Ask him. He's the one making the bad decisions, not me.
I think he did it because he still noticed across the board tariffs were high, going both ways from us to other countries.
Oh, so
and
he
from-
did it because it's reciprocal. So why did he place tariffs on countries that don't charge us a dime in tariffs per year, like Canada?
or like the island filled with penguins. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he has people that do this, right?
But like this disputes the validity of your justification here because you're looking at right the bad actions that Donald Trump is making, and then you're trying to impose your external justification on it, so you could like understand him to not be a complete and total like idiot. And like typically these justification fails because like when you say, well, he's imposing these countries in a reciprocal manner, well, that hypothesis fails because some of the countries that he's imposed the tariffs on don't impose tariffs on us, as well as he didn't impose tariffs on a country that does impose tariffs on us, such as Russia. What's the second hypothesis? Well, he's imposing these tariffs to move manufacturing back to this country. Well, that goal would imply that these tariffs are here to stay in the long term because that's the only way companies operating outside of America would have a significant level of reason to spend billions of dollars in like 4 to 5 years in building manufacturing plants here, right? However, we know that the tariffs are not here to stay because he's already put them on a pause and he's using them as leverage to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries, right? And like originally
Right.
people said that he imposed tariffs on Mexico for more border agents and Canada for like better border patrol. And then Canada never imposed any new border regulations and he rescinded the tariffs on them. And he was able to get less troops from Mexico than Biden did without the threat of tariffs. Like what we see is there's no consistent narrative here insofar as why he's been tariffing all these other countries, but there's one consistent outcome, which has been a harm to American people.
Right. No, I agree, and I know you're very educated on this topic, and that's why you have this platform, and that's why ultimately I'm glad I got the chance to join because I think there's a lot to learn for everybody on both sides, and finding the middle ground is ultimately the best. But let me ask you, what in Ms. Harris's policies would have basically done the opposite but yielded the same results that we're hoping to have through the tariffs?
Okay, what result are you hoping to have?
Yeah, how are we going to get basically the poverty line down? How are we going to get
Oh,
more?
like reduce the amount of people in poverty? Well, she only wanted to increase the child tax credit, which has historically reduced childhood poverty by over 40%. And she wanted to spend around $3 trillion on tax cuts just for low and middle income earners, right? I mean, hey, man, that would have done pretty well. But, according to the Institute on Taxation and Economics, Donald Trump's economic policy is actually going to literally redistribute wealth from the poor to the rich. They say anybody making under $395,000 per year will unironically be worse off.
Didn't he just propose a bill that's supposed to reduce taxes or even eliminate taxes for people making less than $150,000 a year?
I mean, he said that on a mic. It's never going to happen. He's also said that he just wants to completely eliminate the IRS. I mean, hey, man, if it materializes, I will say that it's one of the best policies passed in modern American history because it will be, but it's not going to happen.
Fair statement. I mean, we can move on to something else, or you could bring a next guest up. It's your call.
All right, yeah, I'm going to move on to the next guest. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate your time too. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. We're going to move on to the next guest. Y'all, if you're in that queue, make sure that you do indeed support Trump. The spider. Oh, no. It climbed into my modem for my Wi-Fi, and I'm just staring at it right now, waiting for it to climb out. Oh, I hate that so much, man. I hate that so much, man. Oh, it's like making me like freak out because like I also have to direct attention to the live stream to be able to like manage the live. And that means I can't always be looking at where I think the spider is. And now I'm like starting to freak out a little bit, you know? I'm starting to be like, oh, what if the spider left the modem and now it's on me? Oh, no, this is, dude, I'm terrible. What's going on, Jenna? Do you support Trump? I'm going to take that as a no, and we're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go. I'm freaked out, chat. All right, we're going to get that next guest up here. Yo, Michael, thank you for the $3 over on Venmo, as well as Aiden with the $5. Tammy with the $10. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate you all so much for the love, as well as Raul with the $6 over on PayPal. Guys, thank you so much. If you do want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal down below in the link tree in my bio, as well as in the pinned message over on YouTube. But what is going on? Second King Z, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how old are you? Okay, sorry, they're way too laggy, so we're just going to simply move on to the next guest. We're going to get that next guest Prince up in the live, y'all. Everyone, do be patient and just give us a minute. All right, y'all. We're going to move on to the next guest. We got Michael loading up into the live. Everybody just do be patient, y'all. What's going on, Michael? Do you support Trump? Okay, Michael's not here. Guys, if you're MAGA, let me know down below in that comment section. We are just still looking for the very next guest of the stream, y'all. Where are they at? Quite frankly, where are they at? Taylor, thank you so much for the Galaxy. I do appreciate that. All right. Where is the next guest? Guys, stop saying that the spider's on me. Y'all are going to freak me out. Come on, dude. I'm powering through this, though. Because this shit sucks. Oh. I just, Hello, John. Hello, John. John left, quite frankly. Okay. John left. Moving on to the next guest. Hey, drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you want to come up and join. It's so hard to find Trump supporters at this date and time. Very difficult. Regina, thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Regina. Here's another $20 for the amount of times I've heard Trump supporters admit you're right and concede since I've been listening for an hour. Oh my God. Keep up the good work. Let's hear from the spider. I say we don't hear from the spider at all. I think right now it's just kind of hanging out in the modem, but I'm kind of too freaked out to go over and check. But I do really appreciate you for the $20, Regina. What is going on? Bread Basket News. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay. What? Come on, dude. You're a fucking news page. Have some decorum and try again. I'm not gonna kick you out because your news page was 60K followers. Just do better, bro. Just do better.
All right. I voted mainly because I think he supports the economy overall, and I think that
Are you seriously a news page? Is this real?
not an American news page.
What kind of news do you report?
Breadbasket News. That's in my name.
And what is that?
It's a TikTok account.
I know, but what is Bread Basket News? What kind of news do you report?
It's kind of sports-ish.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the hell out of here. Okay, yeah, get the hell out of here. I'm like looking over at their profile picture, and the first thing I see is like two frat bros standing there with like polos on, just sipping on some drink. Come on, dude. All right, moving on to the next guest game. Sorry, not game. Dame. Okay. All right. What's going on, Dame? And Dame left. Brianna, thank you so much for the Galaxy. I do really appreciate you. Thank you, Brianna. You've been supporting so much. All right, next guest, David, is loading up into the box. If you are one of the 6.2 thousand people watching this stream, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen for me and trying out this live with a handful of friends. What's going on, David? Dude, nobody wants to debate me, man. Dude, this is insanity. This is absolutely crazy. You know, I'm just going to get this blanket out of here. So I have better visibility. Not gonna lie. There you go. Sorry, I had to do that. This is crazy. Nobody wants to debate me. Don't worry. We'll get the next conversation going. Got the blanket out of here. I'm going to start hovering the feet soon. All right, guys. Dude, where are the Trump supporters at, man? Where are they? They're gone. They're nowhere to be seen. They're not here. They're running. They're running away. They're runners. Quite frankly, I'm losing my shit. I'm losing it. Hello, Zach. I think, I don't know. Correct me if I'm, how do I pronounce your name?
Zadok, bro.
Zadok, thank you. Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19.
19. You support Trump?
I mean, I don't know if I support Trump. I just don't support the other party like that.
Okay, you know
I guess
what?
it counts, though, you know?
Tell me
like,
why.
I support. Why?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm not from America.
Oh.
Um,
All right, guys, we're going to go over the rule for the queue once again. If you are in that queue, make sure that you're at least 18 years old. You are from America, and you do support the current administration, y'all. Make sure that you are at least 18 years old. You are from America, and you do support the current administration, y'all. We're going to get that next guest up in the live right now, quite frankly. If everyone would just like to give me a minute, that'd be great. We got our next guest loading in right now. And the P, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying MAGA is scared. That is so real. What is going on, Neil? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, how do you?
22.
22, sweet. Diego, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal, as well as the P, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. All right, and what time is it?
I live in New York.
Okay, what time is it?
Oh God, really?
I mean, yeah, really?
5:32.
Okay, all right. Why do you support Trump?
Because he didn't ban TikTok. He's trying to stop this World War III in Ukraine, and he's trying to stop inflation.
He's trying to stop inflation. Okay, well let's touch on a couple things here real quick. So first and foremost, you're right. He postponed the ban on TikTok, but right now it actually looks like that is falling through because he is imposed tariffs on China, and now they're unwilling to negotiate with him. But at the end of the day, even if he saves TikTok and Kamala Harris would have banned it, I would prefer me to lose access to TikTok compared to 60 pregnant rape victims per day losing access to abortion. And that has been the fallout of his ban or overturning a Roe v. Wade. And if Kamala Harris was elected, she would have resolved that. Now, moving on to the second point of Indian inflation, Donald Trump has only made inflation worse. And the chairman of the Fed has agreed, as well as he's barreling America towards a recession, which is bad because it means potential stagflation. And that would really fuck this country up. What was the other point you made? World War III in Ukraine. Well, he's actually worse for the threat of a World War III because I think a lot of people think about it in a vacuum. Like they're like, oh, if we stop funding Ukraine, Ukraine gives up and the war ends. No. Other countries in the EU have already said that they want to pick up the slack that we would give off if we were to back off, meaning that countries like UK and France are now considering putting NATO boots on the ground to fight and kill Russian troops, which obviously inches us closer to a full-out Third World War. So, yeah, those are the reasons why you're wrong.
So you admit that sending troops and help to Ukraine is bad, but somehow you at the same time support helping Ukraine. Also, what do you think about occupation of Syria and genocide in Gaza? You support war criminal and child killer Kamala and Biden.
Okay, well, thank you for not responding to anything I just said. So I am pro-Palestinian. However, Trump was worse for Gaza than her.
At least they had 2 months ceasefire.
So the ceasefire was actually achieved by and under the Biden-Harris administration, and that actually was delayed because Trump had asked Netanyahu to not accept it until after the election, and of course, Israel then violated it.
No. Actually, Biden called Netanyahu. The Israeli said that he said to him before inauguration, enforce ceasefire. A ceasefire is 2-page document, and Biden could do that at least for promotion. He was about Kamala, but they were idiot. They were supporting genocide.
Who do you think? So who do you think was more pro-Israel, Trump or Harris?
They are the same. But at least
I disagree. So the reason why I disagree with that claim is because although like Harris did support Israel, that's an undeniable fact. She, as well as Biden, supported some restrictions on some weapon shipments, like for instance, 3,000-pound bombs. Donald Trump spoke out before the election about this, saying that if he was president, he would not place any restrictions. And then the day he was inaugurated, he lifted those restrictions. So that means more weapons and bombs are going to Israel to kill more Palestinians because of Trump. Kamala Harris also supported some humanitarian aid to Palestinians. And like, I agree that's contradictory to the message of supporting Israel, because Israel's the reason Palestinians need humanitarian aid. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump has vehemently and explicitly stated that he supports no humanitarian aid, which is objectively worse. Not to mention that he personally wants to send America into the Gaza Strip and personally ethnically cleanse the 2.1 million Palestinians living there, giving them no right to live on that land and sending them to Jordan and Egypt. So I absolutely do believe that Donald Trump was worse for Palestinians than Kamala Harris.
They literally carpet bombed that country, committed genocide, starve Palestinians, and you think somehow it's good for Palestinians. Also, Trump is saying a lot of stupid shit. He said that he will destroy North Korea in the last mandate. And I think, I mean, why don't you support Communist Party of USA? Because it's better than Kamala and Trump. Because you are pro-Palestine. Why don't you support Communist Party?
So once again, my argument is just that like Trump is simply worse than Kamala Harris as it related to Palestine, and I just kind of like clarified the reasons why. And I'm so sorry, the spider's on the wall, and I'm gonna kill it. Continue.
Okay, but I mean, for Ukraine, you're right. These European countries, they want to help Ukraine, but they are weak. They cannot, defeat Russia. And USA, it's good to stop funding Nazis in Kiev. And this war is destroying society.
Are you wait. Are you pro-Russia? Wait, so you're saying that their ethnic cleansing of Ukraine is justified because they're fucking Nazis? Is that your position?
No, it's special operation. It's not full-scale war.
What? How can it be a special operation when there's right now close to 200,000 Ukrainian refugees that have been displaced to America alone? That doesn't sound like a special operation to me.
Okay.
Do special operations typically displace hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people?
Okay. Just answer me a simple question.
No. Answer my question, because you said that it's a special operations. Do special operations typically displace hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people?
No. Full-scale war with Russia and USA destroyed whole countries. Just look.
I want you to respond to what I said. Once again, the very specific question that I'm asking you about.
Yes.
Do special operations typically displace hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions?
Yes.
Yeah, get out. Sorry, crazy. That's just, come on. Obviously, that's just a brain mistake. Yeah, that's just like, boom, like wrong. That's like saying that the earth is like a donut shape. Like, okay, I'm not going to give that any validation at all. Are you kidding me? At all. Special operations? Do you understand that justifies Israel? Do you get that? What has the argument been? We're targeting Hamas. Oh, but it seems like the obvious counter argument is that hundreds, like tens of thousands of Palestinians have either have been killed, and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been displaced and ethnically cleansed. So therefore, it's not the special operation against Hamas that Israel paints it to be. But apparently, according to him, a special operation can lead to the displacement and killing of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Guess what? You justified Israel. Moving on to the next guest, Lexi. Everyone, just give us a minute. Crazy shit right there. Player 2, thank you for the $2 over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate that. As well as Spider, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. I do really appreciate you so much for the love. Let me be and watch the show live from the modem. Oh no, I killed you. You're laying on my floor right now. Yo, oh my God, I feel really bad now. They donated me $20, okay, and they requested that I let them be because they just want to listen to the debates, and I killed them. Oh no, dude, cancel me now, man. What's going on, Lexi? Do you support Trump? RIP Spider down below in that chat. Okay, Lexi's not here. Yeah, on a real note, I probably would have, copped it and taken it outside if I had more time. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I am not gonna sit here for like any like more hours. Like
Oh my
another hour and a
gosh.
half. with that spider just doing its thing. Fuck that. Sorry. Alyssa, what's going on? How old are you?
Oh my gosh, Dean, I'm 23. Hey.
Hey, do you support Trump?
No, I just really wanted to join and tell you that I love you. I literally love your videos. I love you. I love watching you debate. You have literally made me get political. I was never political before you.
Dude,
But
let's go, Alyssa. That is
I'm
that
super
is
gay,
amazing.
so I feel like being political is like necessary right now. Like human rights are really being attacked for everybody. So I don't know, but I just wanted to tell you I love you so much. I can't believe you let me join.
Dude, Alyssa, that is beautiful to hear. I love you too. I hope you have
Oh
a
my
good rest of your
god,
day.
this is so exciting. Okay, bye.
Yo, W Alyssa, W Alyssa. You know, I feel like there's kind of like the flip side of the coin that a lot of people don't see, because like immediately everybody's knee-jerk reactions to these streams is, okay, well, how many people are you actually convincing to switch their views from being MAGA to anti-MAGA? And yeah, that's a very valid consideration that needs to be made. However, there's also the flip side of the coin of saying, well, how many individuals are you getting politically involved that weren't politically involved prior? And I feel like that's really where these streams excel. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there's a lot of points of value of these streams, but that's definitely the biggest one. You know what I mean? And that's also why like I kind of make them more entertaining. You know, like I try to be very like I try to like speak with a lot of charisma and be entertaining with like body language. It's to make these spaces more what do you call it? Like what I'm looking for a very specific word here. Easier to be digested by like the average non-politically involved American. You know, very consumable, very engaging, approachable, palatable. Yes, I try to make these streams palatable to the average American. Okay, Ashley has something going on there. We're gonna move on to the next guest, y'all. If you are in that queue, make sure that you do indeed support the current president. We are just looking for the next guest, though. So everybody, just give us a minute. What is going on, Chloe? Do you support Trump?
No, I had a question though. I also
I'm so sorry, Chloe. I really do appreciate you for coming up, and I do apologize for kicking you so fast. But we are just like at this moment looking for a debate. If everyone would just kind of give us a minute, that'd be great. What is going on, Duke? Do you support Trump?
No, I do not support Trump. I want to be really quick to say.
I'm sorry. Oh, I feel so bad. 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 I feel so fucking bad. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I legitimately, I'm so sorry. We're gonna get that next guest up in here. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go ahead and we're looking for a Trump supporter. We're looking for a Trump supporter, y'all. We're gonna go to get Alex up in here next. Hey, what's going on, Alex? Do you support Trump?
Absolutely.
Okay. Why?
If I'm being entirely honest,
Wait.
it's
How old are you?
me. I'm 22.
Okay, take it away.
Okay, so I mean, I voted for Trump in 2020 and then also in 2024. I would say it stems mostly from trying to lean away from the far left woke mob.
Okay, Alex. So you voted against liberals.
Yeah, I mean,
so what did you vote
what you guys
for?
have done to Z is like a perfect example of this.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Explain myself. Well, let's just go through the obvious. She was on a video. Nobody thought anything was wrong. 3 days before it, you guys all knew about it, and you didn't do anything. You still went to that Texas A&M event, and then afterwards is when all hell rained down. And personally, I think it's kind of shitty from you guys. I think that you guys both knew that nothing was really that bad. But yeah.
Damn. So this is the angle of MAGA. So like MAGA's angle is that you knew that nothing was really that bad and you still went, and now like you're playing into the woke mobness by apologizing and talking about these things in a critical sense, and that's wrong. Okay, wow. So hey, like I want to point out that microaggressions are bad. Okay, and honestly, I think everyone should agree you know, that's my take. I think that it's worth it for you and maybe other people that disagree with that sentiment to do a little bit more research into racism in America today, what microaggressions are, and why they're a bad thing, right? As well as like the harm in which they impact. At the bare minimum, look into it, please. I'm begging you. And I mean, over like the last couple days, I've definitely kind of thoroughly addressed all of my thoughts of, you know, of the recap of the last week or so. And I mean, that even like came to fruition late last night, where I had a conversation publicly with, I mean, every single individual that was personally impacted by Z. And I don't really know if I want to kind of reiterate too many of my thoughts to you, especially because, you know,
Can I ask a different question?
You're MAGA. But I think here's the takeaway, man. Like, I do obviously think that like what Z did has led to disruptions in progressive movements now. I think if you deny that, you're denying reality. But I think that you're just placing the blame on the wrong people. I don't think that this is the blame of people on the left that care about these critical issues and hold a red line against racism. I think that the blame should be on Z, right? It is Z who decided to use microaggressions against Black women, and it is Z who then decided to go on without any sense of a recognition that she did something wrong or accountability. And then it's Z that went on to, you know, also project negative emotions on people in the pack and, you know, just be a bad leader in general.
Okay, so my thing is that it seems like Democrats like to make up definitions. So let me ask you a question. Why do we put a distinguish between sex and gender? For the longest time, they were essentially interchangeable, and now
I don't believe that. I think that, so I think that for the longest time they've not been used interchangeably. I think that that's more recent, that's more modern. And in fact, I'd say that a majority of Americans don't use those terms interchangeably today as well, and they just don't even know that they don't use those terms interchangeably.
I would just have to disagree with you there.
Are you a Christian?
Am I a Christian? Yeah, probably not the best one, but
Is God the Father a man?
I'm not gonna argue semantics on that one.
Why?
Like,
Because like in your Christian beliefs, you make a distinction between gender as a social category and sex is relating to biological reality. Like you say that God the Father is a man. Okay, he doesn't have XY chromosomes. He doesn't have a PP, right? When you reference him as a he, him, when you call him a father, and when you say he's a man, like
I mean, I'm not gonna argue
this is a
from a
complete and
religious
total
standpoint.
assignment of like social categories of gender onto an identity, right? So I mean, like even there's an example of how even you make a distinction between sex and gender, and you just don't even know it. But I just want to clarify that you voted for fascism because I make a distinction between sex and gender. Damn.
Fascism. Yeah, that's why nobody takes you guys seriously. Is because you guys try and alienate everyone and just tell them that they're bad people. That's exactly what you do.
I mean, Alex, do you want me to like play pretend and act as if it's not crazy to vote for fascism, vote for a recession, vote for a 34 count felon that was held civilly liable for raping a woman and has distanced herself from all of her allies and advocates for economic policy that literally redistributes wealth from the poor to the rich? Do you want me to act like because like you don't support a
He was an
separation
actual
between
criminal.
sex and gender? Like I just want to make that one clear. Like I before you pivot and talk about Hunter Biden, I literally want you to respond to what I'm saying. Okay?
Okay, so repeat it.
Why weren't you listening the first time? I'll repeat.
You got the whole
repeat.
bunch there.
I'll
You got the whole bunch there. So I want to make sure that I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, when you don't understand something, you call it yap.
Yeah, sure. That's why I'm a mechanical engineer and you're fucking debating on TikTok like a bitch.
Do you think that having some type of knowledge in mechanical engineering means that therefore you're going to be politically informed? That's like saying that because you have some type of knowledge of mechanical engineering, you could walk into a hospital and perform surgery. Like these two things are just completely separate and distinct.
I'd probably have a better chance than you. I'd say that.
Okay, well, you definitely haven't demonstrated that so far.
Oh, really? Dang. That's unfortunate. So are you going to repeat your whole spiel or what?
Yeah, of course. So, what I said in a nutshell was like I pointed out the fact that, I mean, like, you voted for fascism, you voted for a candidate that's already tried to coup and overthrow the results of a federal election and wants to consolidate power to the federal branch of a government, wants to ignore the courts and not give humans human rights such as due process, who's distanced herself from all of her allies on the global stage and advocates for economic reform that will redistribute wealth from the poor to the rich and cause America to barrel towards a recession because you don't like that some people on the left make a distinction between sex and gender. And when I pointed that, you were like, oh, well, this is why I voted for the right. This is why nobody likes the left. It's because y'all alienate people. Well, listen, man, I'm not trying to alienate you, but I am like definitely going to be honest in the fact that that is a very terrible decision, right? Willful ignorance to lash out on things that you don't understand, right, is driving this country into the ground. And I'm not going to play pretend and act as if it's anything but.
Okay. All right. So I would say one thing I just disagree with charging overtaxing the rich even more, because I think it comes from a place of just not making sense of trying to tax them on unrealized capital gains. I mean, let's be real. Elon Musk doesn't have $200 billion in his bank account. A lot of that is unrealized gains in
specifically of what I said. Does this respond to?
Okay.
Because I didn't bring up taxing the rich
fascism.
more at all.
I don't think it's fascism.
Okay, so you don't think it's fascism. Okay.
I don't think it's fascism. I think it's playing around with definitions again.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry, man, but it's not. It's not this time. Listen, I get it, right? There's been a lot of times where people have used very strong language against leadership.
I think
that
you're
isn't
exaggerating.
necessarily true. That is an exaggeration. I get it that happened, but this time it's not. Do you, I mean,
I think
how
you're
about how
exaggerating.
about
That's my
we
point.
go through the tenets of fascism and we see how many apply? Is that fair?
All right, go right ahead.
Okay, so I mean, you could go on Google, you could go to Google Scholar, you could look up tenets of fascism. Typically, what we see is the 14 defining characteristics, right? We're just going to kind of go through them. So, like the first point is powerful and continuing nationalism. Donald Trump's economic policy, which is barreling us towards a recession and negatively redistributing wealth from poor to the rich, is predicated on the sense of powerful and continuing nationalism. He wants to make America stronger by isolating ourselves from everybody else, and he thinks that the globalization of commerce is placing America last. It's a false sense of strong and continuing nationalism. This is also where we see things such as his deportations without due process, illegally co-signing on extending bans of asylum seekers that entered into this country in the last 2 years, ignoring court orders when packing migrants onto planes and deporting them without due process once again, and even deporting 2-year-old citizens. That is a sense of powerful and continuing nationalism, 110%. And this perfectly wraps into the second point of a disdain for human rights as well. Okay, I do believe that not granting humans the right to due process and sending them to CICOT in El Salvador is 110% a violation of human rights. And that's on top of the human rights in which I believe have been violated as a result of the fact that now there's 60 great victims per day that are denied access to abortion. The fact that now he is ripping social benefits away from the elderly, from the underprivileged, and defunding our universities and revoking the visas of students protesting and black bagging them in the middle of the night by plainclothes officers and sending them to a detention camp 1,000 miles away, even though a judge told them not to. Okay. The third tenet of fascism is an identification of enemies as a unifying cause. He literally invoked the Alien Enemies Act, okay, which serves as a unifying cause for his base, because then all of a sudden, undocumented migrants in this country are labeled as these illegal aliens, taking away their humanity. They're labeled as gang members and violent offenders, even though they're 2 times less likely to commit a violent crime.
Just the
than
ones
you
that
or
are in
I,
gang.
right? No, he's referred to all undocumented migrants with these terms. The fourth point here is supremacy of military. I mean, he literally ran on a more supreme military. That one's self-evident. The fifth point is rampant sexism. He raped a woman. She held him liable, and he's been talking about throwing her in jail and calling her a political opponent for the last 3 years.
Why didn't he go to jail for it?
Right? Because
Why didn't he go to jail for that?
Yeah, because it was processed in a civil court, which dishes out financial liability, and he was ordered
So
to
then
pay
why?
$82
Wait, why
million.
didn't she file a criminal report then?
Oh, because the statute of limitations had passed in the state of New York. If you've read anything about the case, you know this. But it's okay. I will answer.
Okay,
your
but
questions.
why didn't she when it happened while the statute of limitations was still in effect?
Well, I mean, why don't 60% of women that get raped ever report it to the authorities in their lifetime? It's because men like you exist that do condemn them and act as if they're the aggressor that did something bad when they do speak out about it.
I don't know. I wouldn't consider E. Jean Carroll as the most trustworthy individual on events.
Okay. Well, I mean, the only way to
She couldn't
live-
remember anything about it.
Okay. What's one thing she couldn't remember?
The date for one,
Why do you think that Eugene Carroll couldn't remember the date in which it occurred?
because she's lying.
Because she's lying? So, wait, the claim that she couldn't remember something is not equivalent to the claim that she lied about something. I'm asking you, why do you think that she couldn't remember the date in which it happened? Like literally, like what is the...
Because I think she's lying about the whole
No,
event happening.
I'm asking you, like, do you have like a circumstance where she didn't remember the date in which it happened?
Oh, I can pull up some. It's been a while since I've seen anything on that.
Okay, so it sounds like you can't. Anyways, moving on. I'm guessing if you're going to say that she's a liar, this means that the jury ruled that Trump's guilty without enough evidence, right?
In the civil case?
Yeah. That's ultimately like what the inevitable claim would be, is that she lied, meaning that when the jury said that she didn't lie and that Trump was guilty, they made that ruling without enough evidence of his guilt.
I mean, I would say that it's kind of hard when you're doing these things in New York. I mean, you really think that he got a fair trial there?
Well, I mean, exactly. If you're going to say that the jury was unfair and biased, like once again, the ultimate like conclusion of that claim is that the jury would have ruled that he was guilty without enough evidence, right? Like regardless if you say she's a liar or if the jury was unfair and biased, the conclusion of this position is that the jury said he was guilty when he wasn't guilty, which means that the jury said he was guilty without enough evidence he was guilty.
Sure.
Okay. Name one piece of evidence they made that ruling on.
That I don't know, man.
Exactly my point. Like ultimately, right, the source of justification that would be required for you to justify these claims would be having an understanding of the evidence set forth to justify what Eugene Carroll had said, right? The counter defense from Trump and the ultimate ruling of the jury and the evidence they used to make that ruling. But you don't know any of these things. You just kind of read the headlines and you discriminate against this woman, call her a liar, call her POS, call her crazy without knowing a damn fact of the court case. And quite frankly, if we want to wrap in back to our 14 defining characteristics of fascism, number 5 was rampant sexism. Sure, you are a member of the 5th pillar of why I believe that the Trump administration is fascist.
Dang. Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
So now moving on to the 6, controlled mass media, okay? Because you said you wanted to go through the tenets insofar as why I call him fascist. We're going to do it together, all 14. The 6th tenet here is controlled mass media. So he has called the media illegal, but only media sources that he doesn't like, such as CNN and MSNBC. He said at the headquarters of the DoD that their organizations are illegal, okay? Which completely is in disrespect and violation of the First Amendment if he was to act on it. They obviously have a constitutional right to exist as media entities. They are not illegal. They can't be illegal via the Constitution. And then, of course, as he's now using his power in the executive branch of our government to attempt to defund NBC, CBS, and he locked the AP press out of the Oval Office, but then invited press of the Kremlin in. Okay, he's very obviously trying to control mass media by calling media sources he doesn't like illegal, locking media sources he doesn't like out of meetings where all other media sources are invited, and specifically targeting media sources like NBC and PBS to be defunded using the power he has because of his position. So that fulfills number 6. Number 7 is obsession with national security. Build the wall, build the wall, build the wall. All I'm going to say. 8th is religion and government intertwined. He literally said that he wanted to bring God back to America. Okay, that was something he ran on. 9th is corporate power protected. He wants to further drop corporate tax rates, drop regulations that are meant to protect the consumers. He's anti-union, and he wants to redistribute wealth from the poor to the rich. There's number 9 fulfilled. Number 10, labor power suppressed. I just talked about this. Taking purchasing power away from the average American, reducing it with his economic policy. My source there is the Institute on Taxation and Economics, not to mention the fact that he's anti-union and anti-labor protections. He still supports having the federal minimum wage remain what it was 20 years ago at just above $8. Okay. The 11th point is disdain for intellectuals and the arts. He's defunded universities, okay? And his entire movement is predicated on anti-intellectualism and reject of fact, okay? And this conversation is proof of it, so that one's self-evident. 12th is obsession with crime and punishment. Punish the political opponents, lock up Hillary Clinton, lock up Joe Biden, lock up Hunter Biden, lock up Eugene Carroll. In fact, lock up my political opponents, lock up my rivals. He's vindicated and purposing the DOJ with locking up undocumented migrants, locking them up without due process in CCOT in Venezuela. Sorry, not Venezuela, in El Salvador. That point is also very self-evident. 13th is rampant cronyism and corruption. He literally tried to rig the outcome of a presidential election, then admitted to it in court. One of the most corrupt things he's ever done. He's defunded and abused charities. He's locking up judges. Okay. He's trying to consolidate power to the executive branch of our government, ignoring orders from the Supreme Court. Self-evident. And the last point here is fraudulent elections. He literally admitted to trying to make the outcome of the 2020 election fraudulent. He sent fake slates of electorates to 7 different of our key swing states that Joe Biden won. Okay, and he sent them with fake votes stating that he won the states. Then he directed them to send those votes back to Congress, and they attempted to pressure Mike Pence into certifying them as real. He literally tried to install himself for a second term and nullify the voice and the vote of the people, even though Biden had won. Okay.
Yeah,
And
no, that was
ultimately failed
bad.
because of Mike Pence. So I just justified, right, every single defining characteristic of fascism and explained with great and clear detail how the Trump administration is indeed fascist in accordance with these defining characteristics. Every single one of them.
I would certainly agree with some of the things that you said, but I don't think I would agree with all of that. I think that there's bad on the right side, especially with Trump. I don't think he's a good role model, if I'm being honest, but I also don't think that everything that is being said is always. I think that it's somewhere in the middle. I'll be happy when these 4 years are up, and we can hopefully go to some normalcy and calm down our politics. But
Do you have like any specific things I said that you disagree with? But it's okay if you don't, because I'm not gonna lie, I did speak for a couple minutes.
it was like somewhere around like 10. Like some of them that you just like glazed over. You're like, oh, that's self-evident.
Which
I
one?
would just
like 10 was labor power suppressed.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so like the reason why I said he wants to suppress labor power is because he wants to redistribute wealth from the poor to the rich. Every single American making under $395,000 per year will have less purchasing power. Okay, and in fact, the less money you make, the less purchasing power you do have. My source is the Institute on Taxation and Economics, so there's reason 1. Reason 2 is a fact is that he's anti-union. Reason 3 is a fact that he supports decreasing regulations around like treatment of employees, and he wants to further empower like corporate entities. And then number 4, of course, is the fact that he supports a federal minimum wage at around $8.
To be fair, a federal minimum wage at $8 is more than it is right now.
No, I'm referencing the current federal minimum wage. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I think it's $7.25 right now, which is definitely low for sure.
I'm meaning to refer to whatever the current federal minimum wage is.
Okay.
His administration straight up said that they support what it is and they don't want to change it.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is that in most states it is way above that. Like in Illinois specifically, it's like 15.
Right.
But
so I mean, do you at least like see why like there's a little bit of validity to my claim?
I see what you're saying. I just think that
and it's not just like a liberal being reactionary and conflating issues that don't actually exist. And like when I say that the current administration is fascist, like I'm saying something meaningful and backed by nuance and reason that I could verbally describe.
No, I definitely get where you're coming from. 100%.
And I feel like that's a first step. I feel like that's a first step because when I was conservative, when I was a Trump supporter, I feel like the biggest concern in my mind at the time was I didn't get where liberals were coming from. They're just saying all this crazy shit. I just thought that they were always mad. They were always angry about something, right? And they just purport these outrageously false claims to be so extra that were so nonsensical that I didn't get at all. And like maybe an example of one that exists today probably didn't exist and maybe it did, was that Trump was a fascist, right? I hear that and be like, oh God, here we go again. What did the liberals have to say today? You know what I mean? But after some years of education, some years of learning, some years of understanding, right? Well, I actually now not only see why individuals make that claim, but I make it myself because in my mind, it's obviously true based upon the information that I just shared with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to come to terms, but I think that it was honestly beneficial, I think, to hear your side and to kind of hear where you're coming from, because I can see some of those things and concede some points on that. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, I guess I appreciate you for your time, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care. Wow, that's probably, okay. That's by far the most in-depth I've ever gotten into why Trump is a fascist. That's the most in-depth I've ever gotten into that topic. What's going on, Christopher?
Dean, I love you to death, but you've got too many accounts. I was trying to join earlier, and I was driving. I had to literally park so I could try and join your live, and then it ended.
Yeah, it got banned. It got banned.
I'm Republican, by the way, and I think you're a great guy. I think you're very informative, and you've honestly made a huge point. And I'm not wiping ass here. I'm being like a genuine, honest person. You've made up really good points here. I've been watching you for a little over a year. I watched Jubilee, the whole debate thing, and the only thing that I guess I could say about the whole group, America bringing up religion into every type of subject or whatever debate. I think it was with
Hey, Christopher.
Was it with Charlie? Maybe it was with Ben. I don't know. Yeah.
Are you driving again, man?
No.
Okay. I can't hear the fact that you're in a moving car. I'm gonna be honest.
No, that's my AC. I told you I had to park earlier to get gas. I was driving earlier.
Okay. All right. I'll believe you. Take it away.
Oh, that's all I wanted to say though. Is I think you're a cool guy. You're very informative. I'm Republican. I agree with a lot of stuff that you say, and then I disagree with a lot of stuff you say. But then again, I'm not really on the same level of, I guess, competence with politics as you are. That's all I was trying to say. I've been watching you for over a year now. I think you're cool.
You know what, Christopher? I appreciate you so much for saying that. And I think it's a good thing. You've been watching for a year, and like hopefully, there's some things that I've said that have convinced you to, maybe not hold to some of your views, and maybe in the future, feel free to request up and have a conversation about the MAGA views that you still do hold to. So maybe I could convince you on those too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, have a good rest of your day, man.
You too, buddy.
All right, bye, Christopher. We're gonna go to get that next guest up here. Future Marin, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Please upload the discussion with the last guest. You were going very in depth and why Trump is fascist and was great and it deserves its own video. I was thinking about likely uploading a clip of just why I think that Trump is fascist to Instagram, TikTok as well. Because I don't know, that'd be really good informative educational content if it makes any sense. Finally a video doing a full breakdown, at least insofar as why I think that Trump is a fascist. You know what I mean? And that's good. That's important. What's going on, Paige? Do you support Trump? Paige isn't here, quite frankly. We're going to move on to the next guest, as well as ask yourself. Thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo as well. While we get the next guest, Rebecca, up into the live, guys. Thank you so much for the love. You guys have all been so incredibly kind today. Thank you so much. I mean that. Wow, as well as Alicia, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Guys, please show some love to Alicia. And then Jesse, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Everybody, shout out Jesse. Let's get 200 Jesse W's. Jesse says, may I please be a mod on this account? Of course, Jesse, just spam some emojis down below in that chat, and I'll mod your account. Also, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Gracie, thank you for the 2. Hey, what's going on, Rebecca?
Hi, I love you.
Thank you for the
Stop.
love. Thank you for the love, Rebecca. Excuse me. Oh, man. All right. We're going to move on to the next guest. Guys, here we go. Who's next? We're going to get Charlie up here. Let's see. Is Jesse...
What's up?
Is Jesse in that chat? What's going on, Charlie? How old are you?
What's up, dude? You said how old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 18.
18.
I know it might not look at my profile picture because I'm next to Abe Lincoln, but...
Okay. So do you support Trump?
So I do, but there was another topic I wanted to talk about first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, what's up?
Can we talk about the George Floyd thing or not?
I mean, I don't really see what there is to talk about. I mean, at the end of the day, somebody was murdered, and with racial intent, and that's wrong.
Right.
I think actually no. No, I gotta say, no. Out of respect, no. Let's talk about the prompt. Tell us why you support Trump.
Why I support Trump?
Yeah.
Well, I voted for him, but that I don't necessarily support everything he's doing. But can I ask you about? Do you watch the NFL?
What the fuck is the relevance?
It's going somewhere, bro.
Okay. No, but I've
Saquon Barkley.
I've been kind of keeping up with the draft.
All right. About Saquon going golfing with Trump. How does that affect your view on Saquon Barkley?
Bad. I don't know who it is, but bad.
So he went golfing with Obama too.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Good. Based when he golfs
Okay.
with Obama, bad when he golfs with Trump. Now,
So-
tell us why you think the Trump administration's doing a good job.
I mean, my gas is cheaper.
Your gas is cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie. No, it's not.
I mean, my bank statement says otherwise.
So I actually think that the average. I was researching this claim last week because somebody made the same claim. I think that the average price of gasoline on the national scale has gone up in like the last month, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, not where I'm at, but
Oh, okay. So we made it cheaper for you. How did he do that?
yeah.
How did he make your gas cheaper, bro?
So I go to this place called BJ's, and it's cheaper.
I know, but how did Donald Trump do that?
He gave me a gas card.
He gave you a gas. Oh, you got the Don J gas card.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
hooked me up.
yeah.
He
I
hooked a
mean, are
brother
you in
up.
school? Are you in college?
I go to university. Yeah.
Yeah. What frat? Which one? Which one?
Pike.
Of course, bro. Get out of my live. Get out of my live. Get out of my live, bro. Come on, hit the road. Hit the road. All right. What's going on, Shan? Do you support Trump?
This is my mom. She's coming back in like 1 minute.
Put her on. Put her on. Let's do it.
Just say hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Dean. I'm a liberal, and I like to debate people that support Trump. It looks like your daughter, requests to have a conversation on your phone.
Yes.
Would you be willing to have a conversation about why you support the Trump administration?
Sure. As long as I can say something first.
Yeah, take it away.
I make it very known I don't know a lot of politics, and I hear a few little things that actually affect my life and go towards that, and that's I don't know enough to know enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man. That's the average American. So let's have a conversation about what you do know and maybe some things that you don't know. So why are you a fan of Trump?
I wouldn't say I'm a Trump. I guess I'm a single mom, 3 kids, lower middle class, and I was raised as a Republican, as in those are the Christian values. I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm not like the best example, but I am a Christian, so I've always learned that here in the South that we go towards the Republican if you're a Christian. So that's always been that. And then as far as just what he says he will do, like financially to help my class bracket, I guess, was literally really it.
I have a question. So if it was the case that if Kamala Harris was elected, you'd get like $10K plus in your pocket, just extra money, and you'd have lower taxes. Would you regret your vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kamala Harris supported increases in the child tax credit per year, $5,000 for anybody of the age of 0 to 1, $3,600 from anyone from the age of 1 to 6, and then $3,000 for anyone from the age of 7 to 17. So you said that you're a single mom with 3 kids. You would have just gotten higher child tax credits associated with your children, and you would have had extra money in your pocket at the end of the year, every single year. And then just the general tax policy. You said that you're middle class. She wanted tax cuts for you. In fact, they're designed for you and low and middle income earners in this country. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's tax cuts disproportionately favor the ultra wealthy, and he's kind of fucking you over with his tariffs. But in other words, you said that you would regret your vote for Trump if Kamala Harris would have put extra money in your pocket and cut your taxes. Well, she would have. That was the truth.
And see, and that is like the opposite of what I heard, especially towards the taxes and everything you just said, the tax credit and everything. And that was me not doing my research. And I'm not ashamed to admit that by any means. But I actually heard the opposite.
You know, I don't doubt that you did. I completely believe it, that there's individuals that live in isolated communities across this country that are just simply not as politically involved as I am, not as politically involved as a lot of people on the stream. Just don't think about it in your day-to-day life. And I know that because I've been there too. You know what I mean? Like, I have a aunt. She lives in the same town I do, and I go over to her house maybe birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You know what I mean? And she's very conservative, staunch conservative, but she knows I'm liberal. And like every single time I go over to my aunt's house, I mean, she'll bring up talking points that are like 3 years old. You know what I mean? Something that Fox News had spoken about in maybe like 2022. And she was just perplexed, right? That I disagreed with like these obviously false talking points because, well, guess what? She's never heard any pushback, and she's never really been exposed to information outside of that talking point, because what her day-to-day life looked like was focusing on her family, focusing on living, right? Not focusing
Right.
on politics. But I think that it's really important for everybody to be as politically involved as possible because of how much it not only could benefit our world, not only benefit our country, not only benefit the people in our country, but personally benefit you, you know? If you were
Right.
slightly more politically involved prior to the election and you voted for Harris and Harris was elected, guess what? You'd be significantly better off now. And that's not to
Right.
really like condemn and like crucify you for
Uh-huh.
that. Obviously I disagree, but
Right,
more
right.
so the reason why I say this is, well, maybe you could be more politically involved in the midterms and in the next election, now that you know it's very possible that it could materially benefit you and your family a whole lot.
Right, 100%. I mean, that's a great point, and that's something I've definitely just learned. So I really do appreciate that, truly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head saying that, I'm focused on my day-to-day life and not politics, and it's true. And it's something I definitely should educate myself on better, definitely for the next election. I agree. Trust me, I had almost instant regret once I was getting a little more educated slightly after, but that doesn't do great after the effect.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, I appreciate you for this conversation. I wish more people were like you.
Oh, well, thank you. And I appreciate you. And I like that you come from not a judgmental place, but an education place, because I'm smart. I like to learn, and I can admit when I'm wrong.
Hey,
So I appreciate it.
you know what? I appreciate this conversation as well, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thank you so much. You too. Bye.
Bye. Wow. Okay. People in the comment section saying not smart. I'm okay with classifying that as smart. Come on. I mean, it takes like some level of like awareness outside of yourself to make those concessions, right? That's what I call ignorance. But I feel like a lot of the time people kind of misuse the term ignorance. Ignorance just means coming to conclusions without sufficient information. And like ignorance is of course something that we don't want. It's very harmful, but it's not willful ignorance. I think what she demonstrated was actually disdain for willful ignorance and a sentiment and an ability to learn. And I think that's really awesome. I think that's awesome. Completely awesome. We're going to get that next guest up in here. John, down below in that comment section, I did send you an invite. Let's try to get John up in here. What a great conversation. What a great conversation. Okay, who's next? America. Oh my God. This has to be a troll account. This has to be a troll account. They left. Okay. Moving on to the next guest. Hey, if you're watching and you'd like to support me, support the stream, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Same thing in the pin message over my YouTube account. And I appreciate everyone so much for the love. I get 100% of the proceeds over there, and I could give you a shout out with your name and an attached message. What is going on? Do you support Trump? Okay, they're not here. Quite frankly, goodbye.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Yeah, do you support Trump?
Sorry, I just wanted to say one thing. I was listening to the podcast, The One Night with Steiny, and I just wanted to say, I love your take about removing just the use of like any bad slurs. I just love that take.
Hey.
And yes, you cooked Emily on that. I'll say that.
W that guess. Yeah, W that guess. I will say that the conversation I had on that panel was interesting because I had to try to find ways to purport what I wanted to say in more of like a hell yeah bro dude type of way, because I was talking to one of the Nelk boys and Togi. You know what I mean? And it was just a very interesting way to describe why we shouldn't use some language. I think about that a lot. You know, what's going on, Vita? Do you support Trump?
I don't. I honestly just want to say you're great. Keep up the good work. You're a very, very smart young man. And I think you actually speak for a lot of us. Like, I can't articulate like you do, but just thank you. Thank you for just being the voice for a lot of us. Like, it really sucks out here. And yeah, just that's it. Just thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great life, Dean.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for your kind words. It's incredibly kind. Everybody, please show some love to them. What's going on, Connor? Do you support Trump? Connor, you gotta speak up, bud. Let me hear that voice of yours. Okay, Connor's not here. Goodbye, Cotter. Oh my God. John, thank you for the $3 over on Venmo, saying for doing the Lord's work. I appreciate you for the love, John. As well as Sid, thank you for the $50 over on Venmo, dude. Sid, so good to see you today. Everybody, please show some love to Sid down below in that chat right now. Saying, Dean, glad you're here. Sid, good to have you here. Show some love to Sid down below in that chat, literally right now. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out Sid, for real, the greatest of all time. That's an undeniable fact. Thank you for the love, Sid. Huge shout out to Sid. What is going on? Emily, do you support Trump?
I do not support Trump, but my dad very much does, and that's caused so many issues with us.
Is he with you?
But he's not with me. I want to get him on with you so bad, and someday I will. But we just recently had a phone call where it ended with, not great words, and he wants me to do my research and prove why my stance, which I believe we have pretty much all the same values from all the videos I've watched of you, and he wants me to prove my stance. So I kind of was wondering if you could give me like a little synopsis on just like why we should not be supporting Trump and why he's turning us into a fascist country and just all of that kind of stuff. Just like a little synopsis, if you would, and I will be able to send that to him because he's
you know what?
Yeah.
I spent about 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes ago, going through every single tenet of
Did you? I
fascism
missed
and
it.
why I think it applies to the Trump administration. What I do is I'd either recommend scrubbing back in my YouTube live or just waiting for me to hopefully post that as a short on YouTube and other platforms. But Emily, I do appreciate you so much for coming up. And then just one last recommendation is just listening into the stream and seeing what I have to say. But you said something very specific there, which was, well, how does fascism apply? If you scroll back 10 to 15 minutes, you'll be able to find it super duper easy. Now we're going to get the next guest up here, but I will say this. Hey guys, real quick. I only want to have some debates with Trump supporters right now. So if you are in the live and you support Trump, make your way to that queue. Make sure that you're from America and you're at least 18 years old. We are just looking for some debates. And that's that. So let's try to get that next guest up here. I'm just going to make it clear. I might start kicking people that come up here that are liberals, etc. Just because we're kind of looking for those conversations about politics with Trump supporters at the moment. And I'll feel super bad doing it, but I'm just making that boundary very clear. And yeah, let's go and get that next guest up here. If you're in that queue, make sure that it means you support Trump, y'all. Everyone, just do be patient and do just give us a minute. We're going to get Amber up in the live. Okay, Memers, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Get Nathaniel Debates in there. Love you, by the way. Is Nathaniel chirping in the TikTok? Future, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat as well. Thank you so much, Future and Memers. Everybody, please show some love to Future and Memers. What is going on, Amber? Do you support Trump? Amber's just not here. Okay, let's see who Nathaniel Debates is. Are they still in here? Oh, man, they left. I saw the name in here for a minute. And then as soon as I'm looking for them, they're nowhere to be found, quite frankly. And oh my God, Adam! Adam, thank you so much for the $100 on PayPal. Adam, holy shit. Everybody, please show some love to Adam down below in the comment section. That is so much fucking money. My God. Adam, thank you so much for the $100. Quite fucking frankly. That is so incredibly kind of you. I want to see so many W Adams down below. Thank you so much. Adam says, I have to say one out of many reasons I respect you is that you're so transparent and take accountability to your platform. I try my best. And, there's facts of human nature that, you don't want to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Like, you don't want to be forced to aid and abet in making yourself look bad. And those are just all desirables related to, our own egoism. But I do think it is really important to strive to do that and to be very conscious of that goal. Just because it promotes better standards for others to hold themselves to, and I think just generally leads to a better outcome for society, man. And I try my best. That's what I'll say. I don't doubt it that I've failed with that at some points in the past, and I'll definitely fail more again. But I always try. I do try to achieve that goal every single day. What is going on, Eric? Do you support Trump?
I didn't even know I hit request. I'm not a Trump supporter. I was hitting like. I'm sorry.
No worries, Eric. No worries at all. let's go and get that next guest up in here right now, y'all. We're just still looking for that next guest. Let's see who's next. Wait, Nathaniel's back? Okay, Nathaniel's back. It says high school in his bio, bro. Why is this high schooler trying to chirp at me?
Yeah, I'm in high school, but I'm 18.
You said in the chat that I'm scared of you?
Yeah, you've been dodging me. I've been requested forever.
Okay. So real talk, what does that look like? What does it mean for me to be scared of you? I'm dodging you, that you haven't been able to come up on the live?
You have not been willing to have a constructive debate with me.
So when you say
because
you've
have
not been willing to have a
avoiding-
constructive debate, that means like I just haven't been adding you into the live. Hey man, can you read that number real quick?
Brad Stevens on Instagram, Brad Stevens on Instagram, Brad Stevens on Instagram.
Okay, yeah. It's just the kid that did that. Guys, at this point, I kicked them. Really, I kicked them as fast as I could. There's literally nothing I could do to change the fact that that just happened. I'm so sorry that everybody on the TikTok just had to see that. That is fucking insane. Okay. I kicked them as fast as I possibly could. As fast as I possibly could. We got them out of there in light fucking speed, as fast as my fingers could tap. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna continue with the debates. I'm so sorry that happened to y'all. Somebody in the chat just said, "Damn, you didn't see. You're lucky. You're lucky." We got them out of there as fast as we possibly could. All right. Yeah, and it's like, unfortunately, the best thing I could do to prevent that more from happening is just to give it less attention. Hey, what's going on, Izzy? Do you support Trump?
Shit, sorry, I was trying to send
No worries, Izzy. No worries at all. We're going to get that next guest Luke up in the box right now. Everyone, just give us a minute, y'all. All right, guys. Moving on to the next guest. What's going on, Luca? Do you support Trump?
Yo, yeah, I support Trump. I just got a question.
Okay, what time is it?
What?
What time is it?
It's midnight 26. I'm in Switzerland.
Okay, we are just looking to debate individuals that are from America, so we are going to move on to the next guest at this point. If you just give us a minute, y'all, do be patient while we get the next guest. Emily up in the box, y'all. So everyone just do be patient, y'all. Do be patient.
I didn't
guys.
mean to do it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries, Emily. No worries at all. No worries at all. We're gonna get that next guest up here right now, y'all. So everyone, once again, just be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. We got Charlie Star loading into that live. Sabrina, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much, Sabrina. As well as Kenneth, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. Everybody, show some love to Sabrina and Kenneth in that chat right now. And Lucas with the $7. Lucas, Kenneth, and Sabrina, thank you guys so much for the love. Huge shout out to them down below in that chat while we're trying to get our next guest up on the live. So everybody, please, please, please be very patient. As well as James, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Guys, 500W James down below in that chat. Holy fucking shit. James says, please post a segment where you went through the fascist definitions. Great info. Well said. Keep up the great fight. Love you, bro. P.S. I'm trans and a parent of 3 teens, and you're a good role model. My heart. James, I love you. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that means to me. And yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking after we kind of wrapped up with that. I want to post that. It's just really good educational content. So I'm going to find that and it will be posted. What's going on, Sean? Do you support Trump?
Bro, Dean, I'm so fucking sorry. I meant to send you a gift. Kick me.
Okay, no worries. A lot of people in the queue that don't mean to be in the queue. I think what that tells me is that, like, seriously, like, the Trump supporters that are in here just don't want to debate. Like, that's the reality. The Trump supporters that are in here literally don't want to debate. Oh my God. Quite frankly. As well, Shelby, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, and Susan, thank you for the $20. And FAD, thank you so much for the $20 as well. I want to see a huge shout out to FAD, 200 FADWs for the $20, 200 Susan Ws for the $20, and 100 Shelby Ws for the $10. Guys, thank you so much. While we're trying to get this next guest loaded up into this box, this person has been going absolutely crazy down below in the comment section saying that they could absolutely cook me. I think I've talked to them before. Cream cheese, we've talked before, right?
Briefly, I could actually debate. I had to go early.
Okay, so what are you yapping about down below in the comment section? You said that you could cook me.
Yes.
All right, cook me, buddy. First claim. I think that
Dean?
the Trump administration is attempting... Oh, sorry, you went on mute. I thought that live got banned. I think that the Trump administration is pretty fascist.
So, Dean, what you're missing out on is that Trump operates on a temporal abstraction of truth. So what he says is not meant for the linear present, but for the quantum.
That's where I know the name from. He's gone up in this live a couple times. He's funny. That's a good troll. He's a good troll. Moving on to the next guest, Noah. Guys, you know what? How about this? Putting MAGA in that.
Nigga.
Chat, TikTok, I kicked them as fast as I could. Please don't ban me, ban them. I kicked them as fast as I could. Chat, I'm sorry that y'all had to hear that. TikTok, W TikTok, W TikTok, W TikTok. Like praise, ByteDance. Please, guys, don't ban me, ban them. I kicked them as fast as I could, y'all. We're going to respect, uphold, and enforce a TikTok to us in this live. We're going to respect, uphold, and enforce a TikTok to us in this live. Holy fucking shit. Okay. Sorry, had to say that so we don't get banned. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. We got MG loading up into the box. Here we go, y'all. Everyone just do be patient. Okay. All right, everybody. Just give us a minute, y'all. Seriously, no Trump supporters. Guys, what's going on? Okay, wait. How long have we been chilling? Like, we've been having fun and whatnot apart from... Okay, never mind. You know what? We haven't been having fun. But guess. But in between, we've been having fun. And how long has it been since we've had, like, an actual debate with a Trump supporter? Oh, why can't I like be on a stage in front of like 7.4 thousand people and there's not like one person that's like, hey, I support Trump. Let me talk. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do. And the live span. Great. Great. The live is banned. Okay, we're going to listen to the violation clip. So here's the deal. Everybody watching, what I want you to do is please turn down the volume of your device or just tab out for a second here. Yeah, I'm just going to listen to it. I'm just going to listen to it and unplug it. Give me a second. I'll be back. Dude, you can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up. You can't listen to what's in this violation clip. I'm going to skip past the part where they say the N-word. I kicked them as fast as don't ban me, ban them. I kicked them as fast as I could. Please don't ban me, ban them. I kicked them as fast as I could. Chat, I'm sorry that y'all had to hear that. TikTok, W TikTok, W TikTok, W TikTok. Like praise, ByteDance. Please, guys, don't ban me, ban them. I kicked them as fast as I could, y'all. We're gonna respect. That's in the clip. That's in the clip of the violation. So like TikTok gives me a clip when I violate their TOS. Okay. That was in the clip of their violation. Oh my God. Oh my God. The TikTok gods are not praised enough. We need to praise them more. I need to get like a TikTok hat, a little TikTok wristband, maybe a TikTok shirt. I need to start repping that on stream. Okay, whenever anybody breaks a TOS, I kick them and then I say TikTok shop. Okay, we need to start selling things on TikTok shop. Oh, I could literally get auto-sniped by like 13-year-olds. Crazy work. The appeal wasn't approved, right? Dude. Give me a second, y'all. All right. I'm back. Okay. All right. React to the Trump rally? Is that going on right now? Okay. Hey. 10-second delay is a good idea? Oh, like on YouTube? Yeah. So I know that I should probably look more into that. So like if somebody says something in the TikTok stream, then I could just like jump over it in the YouTube stream. Like that's how that works, right? I could try to figure that out. A delay on TikTok, so you can't. No, it unfortunately doesn't work like that on TikTok. I wish. Okay, I want to thank a couple people real quick. Oh my God, Marlon! Thank you for the $50 donation over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Marlon. That is so incredibly kind of you. I want to see so many people show some love to Marlon down below in that chat. Marlon says the spider's in my hair. I killed it. It's dead on my floor. I'm looking at it. It's pretty gross. But amen. No more threat, right? Thank you for the love, Marlon. Everybody, please seriously show some love to Marlon down below. I would also like to thank Tobias for the $6 over on Venmo. Thank you so much. MAGA is finished. Quite frankly, they're gone. Almost. A couple more years. Thank you so much for the love, Tobias. As well as Yin. Thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Shout out Yin. And Sabrina, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Sabrina. And Kelsey, where's Kelsey? Kara, I don't know if I thanked you. This was 2 hours ago, but thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal, and Kelsey with the $6.37, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Phenomenal. None of those appeals are approved, and quite frankly, at this point, we don't have live access anywhere. Rough. Very, very rough indeed. Oh, what the fuck? We already got Didn't Get a Grip back. I don't know why it does that to me. It bans me, but then it gives me account access back. That's happened for the last 3 bans. They take me down, and then they just put me right back up. Don't know why. Meg, thank you for the £10 over in Super Chat. Saying, I'm a huge fan. I'm from England, and I think it's so important to learn what is going on in the world around us. Keep it up. So real, Megan. I do appreciate you so much for the love. I'm sorry, not Megan. Meg. Okay, what do y'all want to do? Because I've heard that Simple is apparently on a live with Tashiga. We could tune into that. Or tune into the Trump rally. We'll probably just hang out for another 25 minutes before I get off, because that would be the 25-minute mark. The 4-hour mark anyways. Q&A? Yeah, I like that. Haley, thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat, saying, as a person with 2 jobs, it's been so hard to do my own research on politics. I have a MAGA boss, and now I've been watching you. He's a lot less talkative. Yeah, honestly, so like there's like a big divide between the average American and access to education on politics. And it's not just like wanting to be educated, but it's like, where the fuck do you go to learn everything that has happened in like the last forever? You know what I mean? Like, where do you go to stay up to date and really know? Because I feel like my big thing when I started wanting to get into politics was, how do I even start researching? And I didn't even know. How to start the researching. I feel like that's a big issue. That's a big issue for a lot of Americans. Absolutely. Tune into the Trump rally. I bet. Let's do it. Give us a minute, y'all. We're going to tune into that rally. We'll watch it. Yeah, we'll react together. That's great, bro. Why does he do that? That is so cringe. It is like so incredibly cringe to hold rallies when you're the fucking president, dude. Trump rally live. Let's see what he's yapping about. Oh, damn, it's just starting? Oh, no, he's on. Okay, never mind. What do I have ads on this account? All right, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I kind of get pissed. Listening to his rallies. Nothing annoys me more than a Trump rally. I'm going to be real. All right, here we go. Give me a second. Figuring it out. There we go. That's good enough. Maybe we could, yeah, that's good enough. All right, guys, I'm going to pull your chats up on my phone. Let's go and watch it.
Fake polls. Again, they poll more in one term,
Sorry, a lot
and
of
now
lag.
our second term. And, you know, I don't know why It was so important to win because they used to say the fake news, to be a great president,
Fake
you have
polls
to
and-
serve 2 terms. So now
Fake polls and fake news in like the first 5 seconds. Holy shit. Off to a great start.
we're going to serve 2 terms. Now they've taken that one. Cross. Right? Right, Dr. Oz? Cross that one off. Cross that one off. No, they say it all the time. When I was out, they say, well, they go on 3. Thank you. Thank you. Sure. But we've ended the radical left. Well, we actually already served 3, but if you count. But remember, I like the
What?
victories. I like the 3 victories, which we absolutely had. I just don't like the results of the middle term. The results. I don't want those results, John. I don't want those.
He's still claiming he lost or you won 2020. God, Donald, I thought we moved past this. It is 2025, and he's still explicitly claiming he won 2020. Bro, Don, how am I supposed to trust you to run a damn country if you are so deluded and separate, apart, and outside of reality that you can't even say Biden won 2020? Okay? That's like giving a fucking flat earther a degree in geography and expecting them to run a class on rocks and be a professor.
Results? What results? What a disgrace. If we would have had this group for another year, we wouldn't have a country left. I really mean it. I don't think we would have had a country left. And now we're respected all over the world. They're coming from all over the world.
Check that. Literal propaganda. That's a shit he does. He scares his base into hating liberals so they don't listen to liberals. So they only listen to his anti-intellectualist bullshit. That's the way it works. The way he gets people into his cult is he says, you should be so scared of the people that disagree with me because they want to kill you. Now that I planted that seed, listen to every word that comes out of my mouth. It's the only way to survive. That is why MAGA is a cult.
Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe. I'm not surprised. This happens. I sort of loved Sleepy Joe. You know, it just had a nice ring to it. Because he had one ability I didn't have. He goes to the beach, right? And he could fall asleep on a cottage, drooling out of the side of his mouth. And he'd be sleeping within minutes, carrying the aluminum chair, you know, the kind that's meant for old people and children to carry. It weighs like about 4 ounces. And he couldn't get his feet out of the sand. And he'd sleep, he'd fall in this thing, and he'd have, you know, he's president, so you'd have cameras. He'd be in a bathing suit. Somebody convinced him that he looks great in a bathing suit. He's 82 years old. Cary Grant didn't look great in a bathing suit when he was
Now, Don.
82. You don't look great.
I wonder
You know,
what-
at some point you
Let me see.
have other assets, okay? But that's
Trump
not one.
in
But he'd go and he'd walk in the sand and he'd fall into that
I
thing,
see.
and within seconds he was sleeping. I'd be tossing and turning and scheming and thinking and saying, how am I going to beat China? How am I going to stop the war with Russia and Ukraine? This guy could fall asleep with cameras blazing, right? Not too many cameras were blazing, but enough were blazing that you saw it. I thought it was a great ability that he had, actually. We've ended the radical left war on American energy. We've stopped their crusade on coal. Did you see what I did the other day? Clean, beautiful coal. I said, you're not allowed to use the word coal unless you say clean, beautiful coal. So you have guys getting up, Department of Energy.
What the fuck? Warm, sunny winter. Clean, beautiful coal. Loving, caring, abusive partner.
We have great people at Department of Energy. They talk about clean, beautiful coal. You know, China uses coal. They're opening up a coal plant every week, a massive coal plant. But we're not allowed to use it, but now we are because last week I gave it absolute, total approval And you know what I don't give approval to? Those stupid windmills that go round and round and round.
Boo! Trump, Trump, Trump,
And we've
Trump,
ended the
Trump,
Green New
Trump,
Scale.
boo!
We've reopened
Boo,
the
windmills!
greatest
Yeah!
drilling site anywhere
Yeah!
in the world in Alaska, and implemented the new energy policy of the United States. You know what it is? We have a policy. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. That's our policy.
The Biden-Harris administration drilled more than he did for a year straight compared to his one month peak. The drillers, okay, was Biden-Harris. Okay, let's get that straight. This guy sucks at his job, okay? Come on.
That's our policy, Michael, right? Great Michael Watley, head of the Republican Party. He's done a good job. Him and Laura, they took the party by storm, right? He had a good candidate, but had a couple of good candidates, didn't he? Huh? Michael's been incredible, actually. Michael Watley, North Carolina. He watched in 2020. He did so good for me, and you know he was in North Carolina. He did so great. What's the problem over there? What's the problem?
Oh,
is
shit.
that a radical left lunatic?
Yes, it is! Radical left lunatic for the
It's just a
win!
child. All right, get him out. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought it was a guy. Thank you. And she now has to go home to her mother, who's a big Trump fan. Her mother's watching.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
This guy just pull your mom joke? Dude, bro.
I'm sorry. I said he, and it's a she. I'm sorry. To keep my promise to the great state of Michigan, I terminated Joe Biden's insane electric vehicle mandate, where you were mandated to buy an electric vehicle. You were mandated within just a few years to buy an electric vehicle. How about that? And you know what? They're great, but people don't. Not everybody wants them. You got to be able to buy a hybrid, a gasoline-powered car.
Yeah, see, now he has to say that they're great because he loves Tesla, okay? Yeah. I feel like we should watch some clips of him talking about EVs like 5 years ago.
You can buy lots of different cars, but you can't be mandated to do anything. And I've already proudly imposed a 25% tariff on all foreign automobiles. Any foreign car, like they do to us. This is going to create more jobs in this state and this country. And to help these automakers bring their factories home as rapidly as possible, I've just signed an executive order to give partial tariff rebates to any company that assembles its cars right here in the U.S. In other words, if they can't make it in time because they have to do it here, otherwise they have it, I'm giving them a little bit of a break, right? They took in parts from all over the world. I don't want that. I want them to make their parts here. But I gave them a little bit of time. It's 15% and then 10% of the parts, so it's not so bad. Somebody would say, oh, well, that's a change in parts. It's not. It's called a little flexibility. The guys were crying. They love it. Everything's good. But just in case we can't get everything in time, we gave them a little bit. So it's 15% of the parts and then it's 10% of the parts. We give them a little time before we slaughter them if they don't do this.
What the fuck is he saying?
They're going to make so much money. They're going to have so many jobs. No, but jobs are way up. Jobs are way up. We're pleased to be joined tonight by Brian Panebecker. Do you know who that is? Of the Auto Workers for Trump. And Brian is a union guy, loves the unions, loves everything. But
Does he love the unions?
he knew that Trump was right. Brian, come up here, Brian.
Oh! He was a union guy, but he knew Trump was right. Implying that Trump is not a union guy. Because he made that point as if you can't be a union guy and a Trump supporter, because he said, but he knew that Trump was right. And, you know, saying that if you're a union guy, you'll likely not support Trump.
I got 8 years ago in Novi.
Oh, shit, sorry.
And we had never met before, and as I was stepping towards him backstage to get my picture taken, I knew I only had 10, 15 seconds to say something to him before we got our pictures. Fortunately, my son was standing behind me, so I've got a witness to this. And I said, Mr. Trump, we've got the keys to the White House waiting for you in Macomb County. And he kind of chuckled. He said, oh, yeah, how's that? And I said, well, Macomb.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you.
You ask for their support and you get it, you might win Macomb County big enough to carry the whole state of Michigan. And that's exactly what he did. So I want to say thank you to the auto workers, everybody who works in the automotive field, the suppliers, every one of you, the truck drivers. Thank you so much for supporting the greatest president in our lifetimes.
Trump is discouraged. He wants to be the
Now,
greatest president ever.
I've got a little business announcement I want to make. I hope the president doesn't mind. But when I was backstage with him earlier and got my picture taken, I said, Mr. President, I've got a deal that you can't refuse.
What is going on?
And he said, what's that? And I said, well, I'm writing a book, and it's going to be about my political journey. I've been involved in some things here in Michigan, conservative causes, like Right to Work and the Michigan Civil Rights Initiative. And I said, you have a publishing company, Winning Team Publishing. It's run by Don Jr. and his partner. I said, I'll agree to use your publishing company if you agree to write the foreword to my book. He stuck out his hand and said, I'll do it. That's how you negotiate with the best negotiator in the world. So listen, I got one last thing to say. All of us have a job to do. Number one, we have to win the 2026 elections.
I mean, this guy's a fucking fraudster, okay? But wow. That, you know what? I see his angle. Good grift, man. Good grift. You know, good grift.
It has to happen.
He's doing well with that grift.
Sri Thanadar, that lunatic Democrat from Detroit, is already threatening to impeach President Trump if they get the majority back.
Yo, W?
But luckily, right now, we've got good people in Congress like Congressman John James over here who are stopping that from happening. But listen up. So we got to get out, and we don't have any time to waste. We got to start talking to our friends, our neighbors, our family, our coworkers. The campaign for 2026 starts tomorrow. We've got to win that election. So the work is not over. The work has just begun. November 5th was not the end. It was the beginning of the golden age. And let's all tell President Trump how much we support what he's done the first 100 days in office. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's one other thing I wanted to say in front of all these thousands of people to President Trump. President Trump, I love you.
Oh my God, yo, oh my, like,
good man.
Oh my God, should we turn this off?
You know, he was with me.
Am I gonna lose all my viewers?
2015, before 2016, he was there from day
Yeah,
one.
he should have like kissed his boot
He
too.
said we're losing our car. And
Yeah, he should have bowed down, kissed the ring.
He
I
just
don't.
said, I've had so many
yeah.
friends that were laid off. It's horrible. They lay us off like it's nothing, and the business went to China, it went to Japan, went to all countries all over the world. They're laying us off, sir.
Oh Jesus.
And he said, we can solve that. I told him, we can solve that so fast. He's one of the early people that got it, and we've solved it. We're going to be doing numbers that nobody's ever believed. We'll be the #1 in the world again. Nobody can believe it because we have been beaten up so badly by these countries that have rigged the whole thing. They fight like hell. They're smart. Their product is good, but our product's going to be a lot better. We're going to do something that nobody believes, and he saw it right at the beginning. So I appreciate it, Brian. And he was there at the I love the guys from the beginning. I love those early guys. Those guys are right there. They were there from the beginning, too. No, you're going to see numbers, and you're already seeing them. Look, you know, we have many Hondas coming in, and they're coming in. They can't.
Mini
Let them
Hondas.
build their cars here.
What the fuck does that mean?
Japan? We love Japan. We don't
What
want-
the fuck? That mini Hondas? There's like one. I mean, Honda's a company. The fuck? That mini Hondas? So many Hondas are coming in from all over. All the Hondas are Coming to America, in America, all the Hondas, a Honda from there, a Honda from over there, and a Honda from right there too. They're all coming. The Hondas, we got all the Honda. Dude, okay, all right, sorry.
We want them building them in Japan. We want them to build them here. We want China to build them in here. We want them all to build them right in here. That's what they've done to us for 40 years, and they've drained us. Now we're doing it to them at a better level than they ever dreamed possible. To further rebuild the industrial bedrock of our country, I've imposed 25% tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel. It's keeping our steel mills going. I did that. If I didn't do that with steel in the my first term, we wouldn't have a steel mill in the United States right now, and everybody knows it. I did it for washing machines too, by the way. That's why I asked the people at Whirlpool. They were going to close. They were in deep trouble. I did it because they were dumping machines. I did a 50% tariff, was going to raise it to 100%. They didn't even have to bother. They became a tremendously successful company overnight. They were ready to close. They came to me with tears in their eyes in my office early on, first term. And we're doing it now at levels never seen before. And the results are going to be even better, because we've been abused by friend and foe. And in many cases, friend has abused us more so than foe on trade. So I want to just let you know you're going to be very proud of this country very soon. And with my China tariffs, we're in.
So he's talking about Whirlpool, right? And the tariffs on China for washing machines. So there's an article. It's called Whirlpool Advocated for Tariffs on Washers. Now it's going through the ringers. This was published in 2019, so after the tariffs have been enacted. So Mark Bitzer, the CEO of Whirlpool, acknowledged that after the tariffs were implemented, their net impact, right, of the tariffs has turned into a headwind for the company, slowing them down. So the CEO of Whirlpool acknowledges that his tariffs actually net hurt their company. Liar, liar, your pants on fire.
That includes Mexico, who have taken a tremendous amount of our business. Canada's taken off a tremendous, like 10, 12%. Mexico is 32%. They took 32% of our car production. We don't want them to have that. We want that. Why are we giving it to them? Why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year? Why are we subsidizing Mexico for $300 billion a year? There's no reason.
Is that the trade deficit?
I'm proud to be the president for the workers and not the outsourcers. The president who stands.
Why is he calling a trade deficit a subsidy? Wait. I get goods from the grocery store. They don't get goods from me. I'm in a trade deficit with a grocery store, like maybe $500 a month. Does that mean that I subsidize my grocery store $500 a month? Fuck no, because I'm getting something in return for the money I'm giving them, which is the goods that I voluntarily bought. What the fuck? Okay, he went to Wharton, one of the best business schools in the country. Now it's tarnished because of him. But how can you get a degree in economics from one of the best business schools in this country and not know what a trade deficit is?
It's up for Main Street, not Wall Street. You know, I like Wall Street.
Well, what happened to the volume?
I like Wall Street. I have a gorgeous, beautiful building on Wall Street. 40 Wall Street. Anybody? You want a little space? I'll get you some space real quickly. Now I've got one of the most beautiful buildings in the world on Wall Street, but I still like Main Street because you're Main Street. I want Main Street over Wall Street. And we want to protect the middle class, not the political class. That's all. I haven't done this very long.
What?
We want to protect our people. You know, this is the greatest.
Why is he just
when you think
lying?
about-
He's firing judges. He's arresting judges to protect the political class. He tried to silence the voice and the vote of every American in 2020 to protect the political class, his cronies, okay? He had Elon Musk spend over $20 million on a Supreme Court race in Wisconsin to protect the political class. What is he doing to protect the middle class? Making them pay a higher effective tax rate? Oh my God, you know, this is the shit that 49% of the voters in this country fall for. If hell's real, he is the first motherfucker going to it. He takes advantage of the fact. Let's get that shit off. He takes advantage. I'm going to play.
Savor the sweeter things in life with Culver's new concrete mixers and lemon ice cool.
Culver's is pretty good. Fire ad. I have another ad too. Oh, okay. I'm actually glad that I blocked this ad because it was a regional ad. Would have exposed me. He lies. He lies to everybody's face because he calls their bluff and he knows that not only will they not call him out on it, but they won't like do the research to know that he's wrong. And I feel like he does this calculus where he's like, he knows that some people will, like maybe the people watching the stream and other people on the left. And he just says, okay, I'm going to lose them and they're going to hate me and they're going to hate me justifiably because I'm lying to this country. But less people are going to call me out on that lie, understand and acknowledge that I said something not true, therefore hate me. And more people are just going to believe it, fall for it, and be my follower. So it's a net benefit for him. He does not care about a net benefit for the country. He cares about a net benefit for him. And it drives me crazy. How can they not see the propaganda? What the fuck says somebody in the chat? That is what I'm saying. 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 Julia, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Everybody, please show some love to Julia. Julia says, I look forward to your lives every day and appreciate everything you do. P.S. Much love. You should come back to Pittsburgh in the fall. I'd love to. Thank you for the $50, Julia, and I do really appreciate you for that compliment. As well as Mark, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal, saying that they really believed in American exceptionalism. They wouldn't settle for making America great again. Sounds like a downgrade to me. I'm not quite sure I understand that, but nonetheless, thank you for the $25 donation, Mark. As well as Carrie, thank you for the $10 donation. Any more info on having Buttigieg on platform with you? Love you. Sent this twice in Super Chat and you didn't answer. Sorry, man. My lips are sealed for right now. Hannah with $5 on Venmo. Dean, you missed the Super Chats like 2 hours ago. Okay, I'm going to go back through them right now. As well as Sid, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you for pointing that out, Hannah. Thank you, Sid. You don't have to read this out loud, but I wanted you to know. Okay, I'll read that to myself, Sid, and I do really appreciate you for the kind message. Thank you so much, Sid. Thank you so much. Let's check those Super Chats. What happened to his TikTok? I'm not live on TikTok right now. I got banned on my account, so I'm kind of done for the day. Not gonna lie. Plus, I was just really close to like the 4 hours that I want to get on stream. I'm gonna read off the Super Chats now. I'm gonna play this while I'm pulling it up though.
In billions and billions of dollars, and many other. The big, beautiful, that gorgeous, big, beautiful bill. I said, you know, I want you there badly, but you got to vote, please. So thank you very much, John. Good job. Michigan House Speaker Matt Hall. Matt, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Michigan Senate Republican leader Eric Nesbitt. Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. Michigan GOP Chair Jim Runstead. Thank you, Jim. Good job. Nice tie. Thank you, Jim. Great job. One of my favorite people. I mean, we just had such success. You know, we had so many votes stolen in 2020, and then this guy came in, and they didn't.
Ah, boo!
Steal him from his state.
I can't take it anymore.
State, North Carolina, I told you. But they didn't steal him. He had 601 lawyers, and he had lawyers at every voting booth. And I said, who is that guy that did so well? Because we won the state. Other states, you know, they inched us out, and, you know, at the end, they just inched us out.
Ask Yourself says, I genuinely hate these people so much. I get it, man. Thank you for the $2. Maddie, thank you for the $5. Says he already won and he's talking about Joe. I seriously think is an unhealthy fascination about him. I don't know what it is. All conservatives, Joe and Harris, for whatever reason. They're like their favorite people to talk about whatsoever. Bree, thank you for the 10. Saying everybody in my family is Trump supporters and now I'm constantly hearing bullshit views. So your lives are refreshing to hear somebody educated. Thank you for the love, Bree. Keys with the $2. Found out about you today from David Pacman. Pacman? Yeah, he posted a video about me, huh? I need to reach out and thank him for that. Actually, I have Pacman's book somewhere around here. Haley, thank you for the $10 over on... Wait, I already read Haley off. Who am I specifically looking for? Vernon with the $10, as well as Car with the $10. Car with the $10 says, I sent money on PayPal. PayPal last ban. Did I send it to the wrong person? Likely not. I remember shouting out to Kara. Thank you for the love. Logan with a $10 saying, any news if you're going to have Pete Buttigieg on? Lips are sealed. Can't say anything. Sorry. Car with the same question. Is there any more info about you getting Buttigieg on? Lips are sealed. Can't say anything. Sorry. And that's all. I'm caught up. All right, we're going to watch like 5 more minutes of this. Maybe even less. Then I'll hop off.
And he's making America stronger than it's ever been. President Trump will never stop fighting for you, your children, and your family. And President Trump will make sure that in this country, not illegal aliens, not criminals, not gangbangers, but American citizens come first, last, and always.
Did he just say gangbangers?
Thank you. And thank you, President Trump, for being the greatest president in American history.
In American history?
He's great. This guy, he is something special. And he's been with us right from day one. Right from day one, Stephen's been there, right? He's been great. A man who put on about 928 rallies for me. We didn't have a glitch.
That dude's fucking nuts. That guy is crazy. That dude's like not okay. Like I'm serious. That guy's not okay. I just the fascination I have for people like that. What gets you from being this cute little innocent baby to this hairless old man screaming about how Trump is better than Lincoln? But roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Thank you, wherever you are. He's probably backstage working. We did over 900 of these. Thank you, Justin. And Margot Martin. Does anyone know Margot? Beautiful Margot. I call her the world's greatest photographer. Where is Margot? Margot's great. Where are you, Margot? And she's very shy, actually. She's both beautiful and shy. Thank you. Where? Margot, come up here, Margot. Come up. Come on. You got it. This is the most beautiful. Now, look, I'm not allowed to say this. It's the end of my political career, but I'm going to say it anyway. She's the most beautiful photographer in the world. I don't know if she's the best, but she's the most beautiful.
Trump 2028, anybody?
What is he gonna say?
People love Margot. And how about Caroline?
No, don't ignore that. No, don't ignore that.
Wix. One.
Guys, you can't.
Just give me the. I'll give my thoughts in a minute. We'll give my thoughts in a minute. I'll give my thoughts in a minute.
Thank you. Michigan. We were flying in here today, and I said, look at these farms. I got to get a farm in Michigan, because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Scott. And I also want to thank the rest of the Michigan Republican delegation for
what
the work
the
they do
fuck?
in Congress, and who are back in Washington working on the big, beautiful bill. We're going to name it, I think, the big, beautiful bill. In 100 days, I've taken more than 1,000 executive actions, and I could recite our accomplishments all night long. And by the way, did you just see what I did? Straws. I wiped out the
This
paper.
motherfucker's talking about paper straws, bro. Shut the fuck up. You just had a lady come up to the mic and say that you're gonna throw the Constitution out of the window, run for a third term. Okay, light a piece of paper on fire that the founders of this country fought and died for when you claim that they're like Jesus 2.0. Okay, core American values. And then you have another guy come up and say that he wants to literally enslave liberals? That guy said, I want a farm to put all of the liberals that I own on. Okay, he wants to put humans that he owns to work on. Paper straws, dude. I can't take this, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I swear to God, like, this shit is only supposed to be seen by Trump supporters. This is not intended for any rational mind to be watching. None. And guess what? Nobody's going to talk about this shit. Not even your favorite liberal creators. I'm telling you. Aaron Parnas, breaking news. It's not going to say anything about this because he's doing worse elsewhere. You know what I mean? He's able to completely fly under the radar, having people on the mic advocate for a third term and say slavery's chill, because then he turns around and deports 2-year-old U.S. citizens to death camps. Like, I'm not sure she went to CCOT. I take that back. Without due process. Like,
You know, they all say, "Oh well, Trump is maybe he's under the thumb of Elon." Do you think Elon was happy about ending the all-electric mandate? I don't think he was too happy, but he's a great guy. You know, honestly, never said a thing. He says, "Let me just compete fairly." By the way, it's not fair what they've done to him too. That is a disgrace. That is a disgrace. But he's a great guy. And he's really helped us. And, you know, they've saved $150 billion on waste, fraud, and abuse, Doge. So we want to thank him. He's an incredible guy. Anybody that can land a rocket ship. I saw this thing come in. I said, you got to be kidding. This rocket's coming in. You know, most of them go right into the ocean. But he lands it. I was on the phone with somebody talking, and I saw this thing coming in. It's spinning out of control, coming down. It's all burning. It's on fire. Looks like hell.
He's explaining this like a fucking toddler.
Into the ocean. And then all of a sudden you see the fire pouring out of the engines, and it starts to slow up, slow. Then it's straight. Then it starts moving over a little bit. Then I say, oh no, it's hitting the gantry. It's going to hit. And the engines go, straightens it out. And it gets hugged like you hug your beautiful little baby, right? And I said, who the hell did that? It was Elon.
What the fuck?
And he told me, you don't have a space program.
The engines went wrong.
He does. He's an amazing guy, and he's a great American, and he loves our country. He loves you. And he's paid a big price to help, but I have a feeling it's going to end up being good for him, actually. I really do. I established the new Presidential Commission to Make America Healthy Again, chaired by our new Secretary of...
He's clip farming for the libs.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's doing a good job, Dr. Oz, right? He's doing a good job.
Big Man R,
And he's
thank you
a
for the
little bit
$10 on
different.
Super Chat.
But I want to tell you, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He said he's a little bit different.
Just last
Is that
week,
referencing that he's like insane?
banning 8 major
Oh.
artificial dyes from our
Wait,
food
what happened to
supply.
me?
Sounds good to me. And on day one,
where'd I go?
Right now, very successful Department of Government efficiency headed by Elon. That was a big thing doing that. I mean, the numbers are really incredible. Doge. So
Okay, all right. All right, guys, no signal. My camera is officially overheating. It's been on for like 5 or 6 hours, so it makes sense. Hey, I can't stomach this shit anymore. And I have a dinner at my grandparents' in around 50 minutes. So, y'all, I love you so very much. And I am going to go ahead and hop off for tonight. I'm not going to lie, this rally is some of the craziest shit I've seen. Oh my God. I feel like we need to pay closer attention to shit like this when he thinks he's just talking to his base. He's not thinking about everybody that's watching on the internet. I mean, like, fuck, even if you're looking at this. The live stream that I'm on right now, I'll show you, only has 348 current viewers. He's not thinking about anybody on the left watching this. He's only thinking about his base. So he's going to say whatever the hell he wants. That's why we saw some scenes today that he'd never make in the Oval Office. Pay attention to that shit. Pay very close attention. All right, love y'all. See you tomorrow. Good night.